Well, as you know, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Whether you're with your core quarantine, having a socially distant dinner, or like me, if you're hosting virtual visitors, which I think a lot of us are doing this year, it is certainly going to feel a little bit different this year. So today we are cooking up something new. It's a Thanksgiving tip line. For the next 3 hours on Today All Day, your favorite celebrities and chefs will be standing by to serve up solutions for all your dinner dilemmas. Feast on advice from Camila, Alves, Mcconaughey, who's making the meal healthier for Matthew and their 3 kids. Flay is here as well to dish out his holiday help. And he promised, and I'm going to hold him to it, to reveal his secret ingredient for a successful meal. Mario Lopez was saved by the bell, and now he's also helping to bring you some entertainment this Thanksgiving as well. Plus, Vanessa Lachey, Ramos Brown, Alex Gornacelli, Andrew Zimmern, and so many more. So whether you're worried about burning your bird, you're stuck on the sides, don't really know or don't want to get doomed by Zoom, not to worry, help is here. Just post on the Today Facebook page to submit your questions right now so that we can talk turkey. It is the 2020 version of a turkey hotline. We're here to serve you. On Thanksgiving, we often say what we are grateful for. Of course, we are so grateful to our families, our friends, the healthcare workers who are our heroes, teachers, and obviously for the food on our tables. And today we can show our thanks by helping those who are struggling in these challenging times. And you can help fight food insecurity by learning about Feeding America. It is the nation's largest domestic hunger relief organization. So if you see throughout this next hour or so, in the next 2 hours, you're going to see the QR code on the bottom of your screen. It'll be there throughout the show, and it'll make it easier if you'd like to donate or find out more information on Feeding America. So here's how it works. Just open your camera app on your smartphone, point the camera directly to the screen, and hold your phone there until your device recognizes the QR code and shows you a notification. Then just tap the notification to open the link, or you can, of course, head to today.com/allday for more information. So let's get started. It's time to talk turkey. Our holiday helplines are officially open. And first up to answer the call is celebrity chef, restaurateur Flay, one of my all-time favorites. Hey, Bobby, happy early Thanksgiving to you.
Hi, Natalie. So glad to be here.
So good to see you. Love your kitchen there. And I see you've got the main ingredient today. You're talking about the turkey, the most important part, although some can argue the sides are more important. It depends if you're a turkey or a sides person. But how are you spending your Thanksgiving? How's it going to be different this year for you?
Well, it's definitely going to be different. I usually have about 30 to 50 people every single year. I always say it's my favorite day of the year. It's, as a chef, as somebody who cooks all the time, this is our Super Bowl, right? And I wake up hungry on Thanksgiving. This year, I'm going to have 3 people. And my dad, who's 89 years old, I'm not letting him come out of his house. So I'll be dropping off his Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow around noon. And then he can take care of himself from there.
Oh, well, that's really awesome that you're taking care of him, but also, you've got to be concerned about his health as well. And I'm glad he's doing well and you all are staying healthy. Yeah. All right. So you've got the turkey right there in front of you. And I think we've got so many viewer questions because, as you know, this is the part, although it should be simple, making a turkey should be simple. I think a lot of people struggle with getting it just right. And keeping it moist, I think, is the key. So one of our viewers asked, how do you get your turkey extra juicy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the key to Thanksgiving. You want to start with a juicy turkey. I mean, there's a couple of different ways to do it. Clearly there's always the question of to brine or not to brine. I don't brine just because it's another step that you have to take, and you have to find a room in your refrigerator. Sometimes people put their turkeys in their bathtubs. I mean, it's like, space can be an issue on Thanksgiving. I don't find that brining is as helpful as other people do. So I don't brine. What I'm doing this year is I'm actually going to cook my turkey very slowly, about 325 degrees, as opposed to kind of blasting it at 400 or 450. And I put some chicken stock in the bottom of the pan, And as the chicken stock heats up while the turkey is roasting, it creates moisture and will help ensure that you have a moist turkey going through. Now, as you know, the breast cooks faster than the legs and the thigh, right? The white meat cooks faster than the dark meat. Mm-hmm. And so I think cooking your turkey nice and slowly will actually help, sort of balance out the cooking so that your turkey comes out, perfectly cooked in all the parts.
Yeah, and are you basting throughout or just using the drippings to just kind of keep it golden throughout?
Yeah, well, I mean, the turkey's going to get nice and brown while it's in there. I think it's a good idea to baste your turkey every, 20 or 30 minutes. Just take some of the drippings because remember, you put some chicken stock in there. The juices are going to drop down from the turkey. They're all going to become friends in the bottom of the pan, and that's flavor. And so if you just kind of baste the turkey with a brush or a turkey baster, you'll ensure a beautiful golden brown turkey. I'm not so sure how moist it keeps it because, the skin is sort of protecting it from the, from what you're basting it in. But I still think it's a good practice to keep on Thanksgiving for sure.
What about stuffing? Are you one of those to stuff or not to stuff? I think people always, you hear things, well, if you stuff, then maybe that stuffing may be exposed to salmonella if it's an uncooked turkey and obviously it cooks off. What is the theory on that?
Well, the theory that's definitely a possibility. But like for me, I always do things because I want them to taste better. So, I think the technical term is, stuffing in the bird, dressing outside the bird. And I always make dressing. And the most important reason why a couple of reasons. First of all, if you stuff the bird, it's going to take longer for it to cook. And it could cook unevenly, as you were sort of alluding to. If you make dressing on the side, you have way more control. And so this year I'm going to make a country bread. Actually, I'm going to use sourdough bread that I staled the day before. And I'm going to flavor it with some kale, some garlic, some vegetables, and some wild mushrooms. And what happens, Natalie, is as it bakes in the casserole dish in the oven, the top gets nice and crispy. So you get that great contrast of texture on your dressing. If you stuff the bird, you're not going to be able to get that. It's going to be to me, it's just a little bit too wet, I want that good contrast of texture on the outside of the bird. So cooking it on the outside or as we call dressing is really the key, in my opinion.
Another viewer asks, what are the best seasonings to make turkey seem like a chef made it?
Well, I think you're being a little thoughtful before you start cooking in terms of, making a plan is really key. I always have some sort of theme for Thanksgiving. I mean, my Thanksgivings always look like Thanksgiving. So you're gonna see, a couple of big turkeys out. You're gonna see cranberries. You're gonna see the side dishes that you think of. There'll be sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes, etc., Brussels sprouts and all that. But this year, for instance, I'm gonna use Italian flavors. So in my turkey, I'm going to have things like rosemary and garlic and roasted lemons. So I get that sort of Northern Italian flavor in my turkey. One year, I cook a lot of Southwestern food. So I can flavor my turkey with things like red or green chilies and cilantro and things like that. So if you pick a theme and then pick sort of the most obvious flavors of that cuisine, you can really have a fantastic turkey. I mean, think about like, a New Orleans style turkey, that's, that has like New Orleans spices and things like that. I mean, turkey is a great canvas for lots of big flavors.
And an important question, I think, for us all, how do we know when it's done to perfection?
Well, you need a meat thermometer. I mean, that's really key. I mean, you want to make sure the breast is about 155, 165. And then the dark meat, you want it to be about 175. And a really important, you hear this all the time from cooks, and this is a really, really important thing when you're roasting a turkey. You have to let your turkey rest for like an hour after you take it out of the oven because it continues to cook, and also the juices cool down and they stay in the turkey when you cut into it. If you take your turkey out and you start cutting it, you're going to lose all those juices in the roasting pan or on the cutting board. So letting your turkey rest for an hour, keep that in mind while you're planning. If you want to eat at 5 o'clock, say, you have to get your turkey out of the oven probably by around 3 o'clock. Let it rest till 4 o'clock. And then that hour between 4 and 5 is going to go very quickly with all the things that you have to get, organized. And then you can slice your turkey, and then it should be, perfectly cooked at that point.
Yeah, and that was actually one of the questions a viewer asked, that if my meal is done at 2, but I'm not serving until 6, how do we keep my food warm?
Okay, here is, to me, I'm really glad that question came in, because to me, the most important ingredient for Thanksgiving is something that people don't think of. If I ask that question, you'd probably be like, oh, of course it's the turkey. Or is it sweet potatoes? Is it cranberries? All those things are incredibly important, and they play a big role in the parade of Thanksgiving. But to me, the most important ingredient is chicken stock or chicken broth, hot chicken broth on your stove. And let me tell you why. We talked a lot about keeping your turkey moist, etc. Think about this. Now, you're about to start thinking about serving your guests or your family. And the turkey is carved. The dressing is out of the oven. You have your gravy out as well, and it's starting to get cold, right? Because it is so much to do. I mean, it really is a huge undertaking. But if you have hot chicken stock on your stove, and you have, like, for instance, your turkey sliced, if you just take a little bit of this chicken broth and put it right on top, what's going to happen? It's going to bring it back to temperature. It's going to be nice and hot, and also it's going to create, some juiciness. And people are going to look at that turkey and be like, wow, he or she really, like, that's a beautiful turkey, and it has, tons of juice running out of it. But chicken stock is really key. I also put it on top of my dressing on the way out as well. And also, like, if your gravy gets too thick, if you have the gravy there, it's the perfect texture. If it starts to sit on the stove, what's going to happen? It's going to start to thicken up. Put a little of your hot chicken broth in there, stir it up, and it brings it back to the exact texture that you want it. So having hot chicken broth or chicken stock on top of your stove, a good quality one, and there's good quality ones that you can buy out there if you don't want to make your own. To me, that is the key to a perfect Thanksgiving.
Fantastic advice. I'm going to take that chicken stock tip tomorrow. Bobby, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and give your father our love as well.
Thanks, Natalie. Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, coming up, are you missing milk for your mashed potatoes? Maybe you're short on sugar for your sweet potato pie. Not to worry, help is here. Chef Andrew Zimmern has the secret to saving your supper.
Hi, everybody. I'm Al Roker, and happy Thanksgiving. We plan on celebrating the holiday, being together, very small group, and just enjoying some really good dessert. Wishing you and yours a very happy Thanksgiving.
Welcome back to Today Talks Turkey, and we've got your favorite celebrities and chefs with tasty tips for your Thanksgiving. Are you worried your dinner will run afoul? Get it? Because you forgot a key ingredient, like Sandy from Florida, and she shared this video with us.
Without fail, every year I start cooking and I'm missing a key ingredient. Can you help me?
Sandy, I feel you because that happens to me every year. And for all the Sandys out there, help is here. We have chef and TV personality Andrew Zimmern with some simple swaps to save your supper. Welcome, Andrew. Happy day before Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Erev Thanksgiving to you as well, Natalie.
Now, I know that typically you do a big spread and host a big thing there. What are you doing this year and how is it going to feel different?
This year, it's me, the television, and but I'm still doing a turkey. I think Bobby mentioned earlier, I'm doing a big meal, dividing it up into containers, including pies, and dropping it off at the homes of people who are sheltered in place and not able to be with the family members who actually do the cooking. So I'm going to be dropping off some food for them. I'll enjoy some turkey and gravy myself, watch some football. It's going to be very, very simple this year.
Oh, it's great of you to share. And what are you most thankful for this year, Andrew?
I'm most grateful for our community here in Minnesota. And I think everyone can say the same thing for their community around where they live. This has been an absolutely tumultuous year from every single perspective. And I think the indomitable spirit of humanity is what ultimately saves us. I think it's a great time of year, despite the raging pandemic, to just pause and remember that we do have so much to be grateful for when we pull on all the oars together.
Absolutely. Such an important reminder. And, you know, if there's one day that you can devote to helping and thanking those who've helped serve us, I mean, you're doing your part. All right, Andrew, inevitably it happens. It's happened to me. Thanksgiving morning, you realize, oh no, I'm out of milk. How am I going to make my mashed potatoes? Or I'm out of sugar. How am I going to make my chocolate chip cookies? Well, thanks to you, you've got some simple swaps for us. Let's start with the milk. If you don't have enough milk for mashed potatoes, what can we do?
Well, the first thing to remember is don't panic. Everybody panics and rushes out the door to drive 15 miles to a store that may or may not be open. Look around your own inventory. If you're making mashed potatoes, remember, so many different things can soften mashed potatoes. You're trying to put in some liquid to make them soft and some fat to make them unctuous and just absolutely sublime. So you can do it Greek style and hit it with some olive oil, a little bit of lemon and oregano, buttermilk, half and half. So many people have half and half in their refrigerator for coffee. Use that for your cream, for your mashed potatoes. Sour cream, obviously, there are powdered and boxed milks, but you'd be amazed at what you have on hand to moisten them. I've also eaten dinner at someone's home where they used a lot of butter and a little bit of water, and you want to know something? It works.
I'm telling you, anything with a lot of butter will definitely work. That's my recipe.
But the important thing is if you don't have butter, another fat that's great, we all love, is olive oil, and it tastes delicious with mashed potatoes, especially with a little lemon and oregano.
Yeah, absolutely. As a little Italian twist too, which is amazing. All right, what about if you don't have a can of gravy? I know, you're going to show us how to make gravy, but is it that easy?
Well, here's the thing. So many people make the roasting pan. Someone puts it in the sink and runs water on it, and all of those sticky bits. What Bobby was talking about, those ingredients that go to the bottom of the pan and make friends with each other. That's the fond, the foundation of your gravy. So what you have to do is you have to punt, and I have two really simple ways to do that. Also, people are barbecuing chickens, they're grilling them, they're deep frying them, and then you have no roasting pan, so you need to know how to make gravy. The first thing that I do is I always have a pack of chicken wings or chicken bones and parts in my freezer that I've collected. Throw some herb sprigs and an onion onto a sheet pan and throw it into a 350-degree oven for about, an hour, and you wind up with something like this. All you have to do is then deglaze those bones and onions and herbs with 3 or 4 cups of stock put a lid on it, and simmer it for about an hour. Take the lid off, and I have some that I've made here, and simply start a roux. The secret to a roux, 1 tablespoon butter plus 1 tablespoon flour will thicken 1 cup of enriched stock to gravy consistency. So I have about 2.5 tablespoons of each in there. I happen to know already that I have about 2.5 cups in here of stock. You can obviously use a cup to measure. All you do is you pour that in, hit it with your whisk, and let that simmer. And in about 2 or 3 minutes, you're going to have the most amazing gravy in the world. Now, the ultimate hack, if you don't have any chicken bones at all and guests are coming in an hour, go to the gas station and buy some instant soup mix and grab an all-purpose seasoning blend out of your cupboard. And all I'm doing is I'm heating a few cups of cream here. I'm going to slide this away. All you do is you take the powdered mix. This is the powdered mix from the soup. Stick it in there. If you need to strain away the noodles, by all means, go ahead and do that. But you're essentially taking that chicken soup powder, mixing it in the cream, add a little bit of herbs. You're not going to have that roasted flavor from the bottom of the turkey pan, but I will tell you right now, this makes a really delicious gravy that reminds everyone about the best parts of comfort food. This is that kind of instant cream gravy that small town diners are famous for, and it really is quite delicious. If you take a look here at our gravy that we just made about a minute ago, it's already thickened perfectly to that delicious gravy texture. Just make sure you're seasoning it. It's super, super easy. I actually make this gravy all the time during the year, freeze it in my freezer, and then I can take it out when I'm serving foods like meatloaf or fried chicken or anything else that I'd like a country-style gravy to be served with. Super, super simple, easy substitution if somehow that roasting pan made its way into the garbage.
That's a great tip. Even if you get rotisserie, the drippings on the bottom, you could use that and freeze it, make your stock. Perfect. Andrew, yeah.
No, 100%. You know, there's so many uses for something like this, and it really is delicious and rich with poultry flavor.
All right, real quick, what about if you forget or you don't have enough sugar? If you have only a half cup of sugar and you're making your famous chocolate chip cookies, which I know we have a recipe for on our website.
Well, thank you very much. And we have tons of Thanksgiving recipes on andrewzimmern.com, and we sent a whole bunch to you. Just substitute corn syrup, molasses, honey, brown sugar. Super, super easy. Don't panic. The more sugars you have, the more texture you're going to have to your cookie. My chocolate chip cookie recipe actually uses 3 different sweeteners.
Fantastic. Andrew, you are the best. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and thank you again for all the great tips.
Happy Turkey Day to you, Natalie, and to everyone out there. Be kind to each other.
Absolutely. Good reminder. Well, coming up tomorrow may be Thanksgiving, but Mario Lopez is talking Easter eggs. The Saved by the Bell star reveals what is hidden in the reboot. And there was still time to ask him about your turkey troubles. Post on today's Facebook page to be on with Mario next. And a quick reminder, you can use the QR code at the bottom of your screen to help fight food insecurity and learn about Feeding America.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things. Yes. Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes.
Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
Welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. Our Thanksgiving tip line is open. We've got chefs and celebrities ready to cook up some holiday help for you. And now joining us, Mario Lopez, who was saved by the bell. He's standing by. He's got some great entertainment coming your way, thanks to Peacock. Hi, Mario. Good to see you.
Hi, Natalie. How are you?
I know we're all very excited about the Saved by the Bell reboot, but let's first talk about your Thanksgiving traditions. I know you guys take it to the extreme when it comes to Thanksgiving, right?
Well, yeah, you know, having a Mexican-Italian family, it's sort of the best of both worlds with the cuisines there. So we try to incorporate that along with the traditional turkey and all the fixins, if you will. But it's a lot of fun, just, you know, being a big Catholic family. Food is obviously an important element. So we're festive, and I've got 3 small kids. My sister's got 4 kids. And so I like all the chaos with everything and with the family and having everyone around. There we are doing little TikTok dances that my daughter sort of coordinates, and she's sort of the quarterback of the team. And, we keep pretty busy right there. Even the baby's getting in on the act. So now he's
oh wow!
He's
I
really
mean, that's some serious choreography.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things about during this time. You get to obviously spend a lot of extra time with your family, but that's been such a fun little platform, especially for the kids, to kind of have a creative outlet. And so they've kind of dragged mom and dad in on the act, and now we feel like the Latino Partridge Family with everything we've got going on.
Love that. I love the Latino Partridge Family. All right. So who does the cooking in the family? As we saw, you had that huge spread on the table.
That's I'm not going to take any credit for that. That's the ladies here at Casa Lopez, whether it's my wife and sister and my mom, and they sort of take over, and I'm sort of their assistant if they need any help. And Lord knows we make a pretty good little mess, so we'll help clean that up for sure.
Yeah, you got to get in the kitchen, at least do the dishes, Mario. Do your part.
Exactly.
Let's talk about Saved by the Bell. Yes. Saved by the Bell in the reboot. As we said, it's going to be streaming on Peacock starting today. A lot of people have been very excited about this. What was it like getting back into the hallway and back at school?
Natalie, it was a little surreal because it's been 30 years since I did the show, and never did I think we'd be able to revisit it, just because we played students in high school, and obviously we can't be back in high school, but now part of the administration, they were so clever about it. We had an awesome showrunner in Tracy Wickfield, who has done 30 Rock and Mindy Kaling and won all these awards, and really just put together, I think, a fun, wonderful, updated version of the show. Reimagining is what they're calling it. And we have a talented young cast who's great, and it's a very diverse, cool cast, and it's a much updated, hipper version, if you will, but still with a lot of the sensibilities of the past. So I'm really hoping people check it out. I've been saying, before you have some turkey, have a little Peacock and give it a shot.
I like that. That's a good plug. What about, seeing the cast and being back together with everybody, those who came back for it? What was that like?
Well, fortunately, I've stayed in pretty good touch with them, and we all went out to dinner not too long ago. To be honest, my kids will play with Tiffany's kids, and I even do some jujitsu with Mark Paul, and so I've remained close with them. So it wasn't like I hadn't got a chance to see him, and obviously we hadn't all had a chance to be on the set together. So that was kind of cool, but it's kind of like we picked up where we left off. So it was kind of neat to revisit.
And as we kind of tease, there are some Easter eggs to be looking out for as we're watching. What should we be watching for?
Oh, absolutely. And people who watch the show and grew up liking the show, there's going to be a lot of familiar faces and references and clothes and locations. And there's a lot that I think I was kind of discovering actually as I was doing it too. So I think people will get a kick out of that, and especially picking them out.
All right. And who is the best, I would say, preserved of the team?
Best preserved.
Obviously,
the ladies look great. I think the ladies look unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they're, they're beautiful, and they've stayed looking beautiful and great. All the fellas I think were trying to keep up, but the ladies have really taken care of themselves, and their moms, and I'm so happy for everything they've got going on outside of the show too.
They do look great. All right. Well, Mario, thank you so much. And you can see Saved by the Bell. It starts streaming on Peacock today. So keep watching us and then go to Peacock, though, in a little bit. Mario, thank you and happy Thanksgiving. Coming up, hundreds of thousands have viewed her cooking videos, but her #1 fan and taste tester is none other than Matthew McConaughey. That's right. Camila Alves Mcconaughey is dishing up her holiday help. It's coming up next. But first, we have so much to be thankful for today. Gratitude is best expressed by paying it forward. Feeding America proves that by helping to fight food insecurity. Take a look.
We had hope in January. February and March came, and we woke up to a different world. A world where families devastated, where the economy is in trouble, and families are losing their livelihood, their homes, unable to feed their families.
Right now, we're serving 35 to 40% more than we were last year at this time. Every day, on average, we're providing 55,000 meals to our 58 communities that we serve within the 4 counties. The pandemic, it really brought awareness not only to our local communities, but I believe to America, that hunger is real in America. The stigma is that food insecurity is inner city or homeless. 40 million Americans were food insecure in 2019, pre-COVID. And so now we're up to 50 plus million across the country. Our food distribution lines, 40% of the individuals in lines are brand new.
We in the middle of a pandemic. There's a lot of us that we can't work. Now, here comes Food Bank and help us by providing the food that we do need in our houses.
If you know someone or yourself that is in need, reach out. Look for that food finder, look for that local food bank, because we're here to provide hope that everyone can thrive, especially in this environment.
I didn't realize how much I missed you guys.
I feel like my life's been on pause, and I'm like seeing things more clearly.
We recognize what's so precious, and what's precious is people.
I think what we realize now with our families and our friends, people that you haven't been able to see, you find yourself getting emotional.
I don't think we'll ever take it for granted again, togetherness. This whole time period is really a testament to bonds that are greater than physical closeness. We're far away. I feel as close to you as ever.
If you usually gobble till you wobble on Thanksgiving Day, you're going to want to pay attention to my next guest. She's not only a chef, host, mom, and entrepreneur, but she has the recipe for a happy and healthier holiday. And I spoke to Camila Alves Mcconaughey from her home, where she's living with Matthew, their 3 kids, and her 88-year-old mother-in-law. Take a look. Hi, Camila. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, Natalie. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
Thank you. How is quarantining life going for you guys?
You know, it's got easier days than others, better days than others, but we're very grateful for everything, just counting all the blessings. And my mother-in-law, Kay, has been with us this whole time, so that's been interesting and fun.
It's nice to have all the family together, I imagine, in one place. Are the kids virtual learning, as all of ours now seem to be?
Yes, they are. My morning routine is printing math papers every morning and getting everybody situated. We're at home. We are staying at home. We're doing a lot of cooking. So we'll be learning new things. And what I'm going to show you today is actually something new that I learned during this time.
How is Thanksgiving going to be different for you guys this year?
Well, Thanksgiving in our family is usually like a big setup. We usually have family and extended family and friends. We do a big spread, a big table. Everybody brings, a different dish. We spend all day together celebrating and giving gratitude. But, it's going to be just small. It's going to be just us. But I think that most important thing during this time that we're all going through is just to really pause at Thanksgiving. It's about gratitude. It is that no matter how hard it is for you now, it's about counting our blessings. We all have hardships, but we all have a lot of blessings to be grateful for.
Well said. We have a viewer who's joining us now, Carla from Atlanta, and she wants to know about a special pie that you make. Hi, happy Thanksgiving.
Hi. My son and I are both celiac. And so I was hoping you could suggest some sides or desserts that are gluten-free as options for us for Thanksgiving.
Yes, so you're going to be really, really happy with the recipe that we're sharing today, because it is a gluten-free, refined sugar-free apple pie, and it's delicious, and you can have it with no problem. In this pie crust that I'll be teaching, you can do it with any filling that you love. So if your son loves, pecan pie or chocolate pie, whatever kind of pie, you can use that gluten-free crust to make any kind of pie that he loves.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Well, you want to go ahead and get us started? Let's start with the crust.
So we worked on making a better for you pie. The crust is gluten-free, and the pie has no refined sugar. So you're substituting things to make a better for you pie. Here I'm going to add flour.
Okay, just what kind of gluten-free flour?
So gluten-free flour. This is coconut sugar instead of refined sugar. Okay. Salt. Then we're going to add cold water. There. And cold butter. This is very important when you're making your crust. You have to make sure that you're using cold butter, because that's going to help to give that flakiness in the crust. All right, so we're going to just pulse on the food processor. Now, we're just going to pulse a little bit. You don't want it to mash it too much, because you want those big chunks of butter in there. That's it.
That's
there.
It. It's fast.
That's it. The beauty of doing things
crust that you can use for any pie, right?
Yes, any pie. This thing comes off will be good. There we go. It is a crust that you can use for any pie. And the beauty of this too is you can make this pie ahead of time and put it in the freezer. It can last you for up to a month. It will last you for up to a month.
Nice.
All right, guys. So we're going to do this. The thing about doing things from scratch is that at first they seem like, a monster of, 7 heads, right? But once you actually learn and you start making them, they're actually not that hard. That's it, guys. We do a crust like that. You're going to wrap it. Grab the edges like this. Then you're going to, and you're going to close it. And you're going to wrap it and shape it into like a circle shape, like a disc shape, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that, okay?
Perfect.
And you're going to put in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes or so. And then once you take it out of the refrigerator, then it's time to roll out your pie dough. Now, I have it here for you already rolled out, ready to go. You wanted to always make sure that the pie crust is not sticking to your surface. So put the gluten-free flour on your surface, and you're going to roll out like this, and then you turn about like a quarter to the side, and roll out again, turn again. Because that also lets make sure that you're getting a equal thickness throughout the whole pie crust. Then when do you know when it's time to stop rolling? Do you know, Natalie?
No. Well, I'm guessing when it's the size of the pie plate.
Well, let me tell you what. You actually supposed the easiest way to do it is that you just flip it like this, okay? And then from the edge of the rim of your pie crust, you want to give like 2 inches, about 2 inches. And what you do is and then what it is, you fold it in half, you put it halfway in your pan, roll it out, and whatever the edges are left over, you're just going to fold them in like this and make it really pretty. You have all the details on the recipe on the website, guys, okay? All right, so once you roll up like this, you're going to put it in the freezer, okay? And you want to make sure this gets frozen. It's very important. Let's do the filling so I can sit over here. I'm using Granny Smith apples, which you're just going to add some coconut sugar.
And why do you like Granny Smith apples over Rome apples?
It's got a great texture, and it's firm. It's a very firm apple, and it's got a tart flavor that once you mix and cooks together, breaks it down really nicely.
Okay, so what were the ingredients you added there?
So I got lemon juice, coconut sugar, and cinnamon.
What is Matthew's favorite dessert?
Oh, I do a bourbon pecan pie that he loves for Thanksgiving. But his favorite is really a lemon meringue pie.
Oh, wow.
That. All right, so now we're going to do the crumble for the topping, okay? So this is, again, gluten-free flour. This is walnuts, chopped walnuts, coconut sugar, salt. Okay, now we're about to get dirty. We need a butter. Now this butter, you need to have room temperature, okay? And all you're going to do is just to mix it up with your fingers.
Get dirty.
Get dirty. This is a great thing to get the kids to do for you.
Yeah.
While you're doing everything else, get the kids to mash this up.
Because it really is like a crumb topping. You want that texture.
Exactly, yes. And when it cooks, it's going to melt all together. That butter is going to give a good binding for this to be crunchy and taste really good.
How do you know when you've got the right texture to it?
Well, you just want to make sure that you don't have big lumps of butter, that the butter is mixed in with the other ingredients. Otherwise, you might get a bite that you have that big, like buttery taste. I don't want that. So now's the fun part. Well, I should say now is the more fun part, right? Because we're putting it all together. We have the filling, we have the topping, the crumble, the apple pie crumble. We have our crust already rolled out, and make sure it's frozen, guys. Very important to be frozen. You let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you're going to add your filling. Now for this, you want to make sure that it's like filled up to the top, even a little bit more. I'm going to show you mine, because the apples, they cook down and their volume kind of goes down in the plate. So you want to make sure that you have a lot of apples in there. You see how it is?
It's beautiful already.
Filled to the top.
Yeah.
Because the apples will cook down and reduce their size. And then you're going to add your crumble to the top. So in order to hold the shape of your crust, okay, going from frozen to a 415, 425 degree oven, and you're gonna cook in that for 15 minutes. After the 15 minutes, then you go down to 315, 325 and do the rest of the cooking.
Good tip.
Yes. Natalie, I want to show you something. So I don't have it where I am right now, the little molds to make it the crust on top, but I made it by hand. This is just, the leftover from the pie crust, make little leaves.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Put it on top.
What a gorgeous idea.
It creates a little festive little touch to your pie.
And very Thanksgiving appropriate with the fallen leaves.
Exactly. And you can also get your kids to do that. You know what I mean? Like they can come and do something to put on top of the pie, and it makes more fun. Me and my kids are going to have a good time here because we're going to eat this one right here.
Wow.
So this is the final result. You see how the apple does go down? That's why it's important to be filled up. And guys, there we go. It's super easy, super simple, gluten-free, refined sugar-free, better for you apple pie.
Camila, you're amazing. Thank you as always. And as you always are.
No, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Our thanks again to Camila. Now, coming up, Thanksgiving traditions. Are you looking for some new ideas to institute? I am revealing the recipe for my family's favorite flan. Trust me, it is flantastic, and I'm going to show you how to make it next. Super easy. And a quick reminder, you can use the QR code at the bottom of your screen to help fight food insecurity and to learn about Feeding America. We'll be right back.
How much I missed you guys.
I feel like my life's been on pause and I'm like seeing things more clearly.
We recognize what's so precious, and what's precious is people.
I think what we've realized now with our families and our friends, people that you haven't been able to see, you find yourself getting emotional.
I don't think we'll ever take it for granted again, togetherness. This whole time period is really a testament to bonds that are greater than physical closeness. We're far away. I feel as close to you as ever.
Even if you're entertaining with a smaller gathering this year, there are extra steps and precautions you can put in place to minimize contact between guests. So I took an inspiration from sports and I created 2 different zones on my table. Zone number 1 has got 1 couple and zone number 2 is another. So I created platters specific to this zone. I've got my turkey, I've got my roasted vegetables, my mashed potatoes, and then I've done the same thing for my other couple. I've also created 2 different sets of wine for each couple. So each couple has a red wine and a white wine. That way they don't have to pass the bottle or pour it into each other's glasses. There's also a bread basket for each couple, and I've got little pies, so each couple gets their own individual pie. Cheers to a happy and healthy Thanksgiving.
Welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. Some great tips there, and a topic that is trending on our tip line right now, Thanksgiving traditions. So I'm going to share with you my family's favorite traditional recipe, since I won't be with my parents or my sister this year, both my sisters this year. Let's just say this is the secret to our fantastic pumpkin pie flan. It is super easy to make. It is delicious. And I see we have a viewer question about how to share traditions while being far apart.
Interesting to be following another Brazilian chef. Here's your mom, my first Brazilian chef. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Wait, what? Hi, guys. Oh, my God. I miss you so much. You're making me cry. It's so so good to see your faces. I was planning on calling you when I was done. Well, Mom, this is a perfect twist to you, a perfect nod to you, I should say. Your pumpkin flan, which, flan is always every holiday, birthday, instead of birthday cake, we get flan. We love flan so much in our house. So I've come up with a pumpkin pie flan for everybody, which is super easy. It's gluten-free. And the first thing, Mom, as you know, is caramelizing the sugar. It's 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and this is pretty much done. Oh my gosh, you guys threw me with my mom. Thanks a lot, my dad. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually making it in a pie flan. And a pie pan. My mom actually gave me a double boiler pan, which is really what I use to make this recipe. But I figure a lot of people may not have that, right, Mom? So you can easily do it in a pie pan as well. Let me turn this off so it doesn't keep buzzing throughout. And I'm just going to coat the pie pan with the caramelized sugar. The caramelization of the sugar is really the hardest part of the recipe, Mom, as you know, because it gets burnt pretty quickly if you're not right on top of it, but also it hardens like a candy-coated shell as well. So I'm just going to coat. Yeah, you don't want it to be too dark because then it tastes like burnt sugar and then it is no good. So that's it. We're going to set this aside. Okay, and now, Mom, our recipe here. 4 eggs.
Don't forget the eggs.
The great thing about this dessert, don't forget the eggs. My dad is a lot of help in the kitchen.
There's a reason for that. We'll tell you about it later.
Because I have 2 sisters and a mom. We do it all. All right. I'm adding a little bit. Let me add my teaspoon of vanilla here. All right, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and these are the star ingredients. Evaporated milk, a whole can. It's about a 12-ounce can. You can also find low-fat evaporated milk, Mom. I usually make it low-fat because I like to save on the calories, and there's really no difference in taste or flavor, right?
Right, yeah, I know.
And then I'm adding sweetened condensed milk. And for the sweetened condensed milk, after that, then it's just adding in our superstar, whoops, I need that, which is the pumpkin puree. And I like the pure pumpkin puree rather than the pumpkin pie mix.
1 cup, right? Of puree. Pumpkin.
What's that?
1 cup.
1 cup?
Just regular 1 cup of pumpkin puree.
Okay.
And that is it. And then you give it a little whirl right there. All blended in. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees.
Okay.
And then we're just going to fill up our beautiful pie here. Just fill it right in there. And you may even have leftover. The great thing is, if you do have leftovers, you can make some individual sized pumpkin pie flans as well in a ramekin or some smaller forms if you have them. And then I'm adding this into what we call, Mom, what's the Portuguese word for this? The banho-maria?
Yeah,
banho-maria.
It's when you put it, banho-maria, which is it's a water bath. Or in Spanish, also, banho-maria. It's the same. So what you do is then you put this in the oven, 350 degrees. It takes about 45 minutes or so to cook perfectly. And the way you know when it's done is when it starts to pull from the sides. Just keep checking it, starting at about 30 minutes or so. 45 minutes, and anywhere 45 minutes to an hour. If you're doing it in a double boiler, it'll take you about 45 minutes also, and it's super easy to, I think it's actually more manageable than a double boiler, but this is a good way that you can make it at home. And Mom and Dad, I wish I could share this with you. I got this whole flan just for me. I need some taste testers.
I'm so proud of
Josh's favorite dessert.
I'm very proud of the.
Yes, my At Home with Natalie.
That recipe
I'm going to plug it. This recipe is in there. Also, Mom, you make a coconut variation as well, which I love to make as well. So, I mean, the great thing about flan is once you have the basic recipe, the only difference is you can add, different fillings. The traditional flan recipe is 6 eggs, and instead of the 6 eggs, I used 4 and a cup of the pumpkin puree to substitute there for the other eggs. So this is what it looks like. And of course, when you cut into it, and I'm gonna serve it up, and it's super creamy, delicious, gluten-free.
Yeah.
And everybody's favorite dessert.
Yeah.
So what time should I Zoom with you guys, Mom and Dad?
Right after this, if you want.
Amazing.
Got it all set up.
Well, we'll do our Thanksgiving thing tomorrow as well. I miss you guys so much, and seeing your faces just made my day.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and Joe.
We're all missing our families, and this is how we spend it.
Even to Zara and Obi too, okay? Big hug to everybody.
Thank you. Love you
soon.
guys. All my love.
Bye.
Bye, sweetheart.
And you really need to make this, Mom.
Yes, I will, definitely.
Wow. You guys got me. Now I'm all, wow, a little bit clamped. Well, coming up, our chefs and celebs continue tackling your turkey troubles. Meet Alex Gornacelli, Lovely Jackson, Heather Ray Young, and Tarek Al Moussa, and so many more. Plus, co-host of today's third hour, Dylan Dreyer, is going to be here to dish about her holiday. That's coming up next.
Kitchen hack. We're going to slice up a bunch of tomatoes in seconds. Place the tomatoes on a plate. I'm just using this plastic cover to demonstrate. And then place another plate or plastic cover on top. And use a sharp knife to cut all the way through.
Am I just dumb, or did nobody else know this either? These little flat spots on ice cube trays are where you're supposed to fill in the water. So it just goes in so nicely to all 4. Instead, I've been doing this my whole life.
Good morning, welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things. Yes. Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes. Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
Good morning, welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things. Yes. Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes. Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
Welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. I'm Natalie Morales, and in just a minute, Dylan Dreyer, co-host of the third hour of Today, is going to be joining us, along with some of your favorite celebrities and chefs, to offer some holiday help. As we've said, Thanksgiving is going to look a little bit different this year, but whether you're planning to be with a small quarantine, if you're sitting 6 feet away from family or friends, or venturing out virtually, we can all be unified in making the most of the meal. So if you're stumped by the sides, confused on cocktails, or have a social distancing dilemma, let's talk turkey. Just post right now onto today's Facebook page to submit your questions. The Thanksgiving tip line is now open. And I think we have Ms. Dreyer joining us as well, coming up soon, but also serving up solutions to your holiday headaches. We have Chef Alex Gornacelli. She's got a lot going on and a lot on her plate, but still has room on the side for your questions. Also, Queer Eye's resident therapist, Caramo Brown, is cooking up some calm in the chaos. And Chef Alejandra Ramos is stuffing her simple fixes in the mix, plus Vanessa Lachey, Tiffany Thiessen, Heather Ray Young, and Tarek Al Moussa, and so many more. On Thanksgiving, though, we do often say what we are most grateful for, and now we can all show our thanks by helping those who are struggling in these challenging times. Feeding America is the nation's largest domestic hunger relief organization, and you can learn more about it and how to fight food insecurity by using the QR code. It's at the bottom of your screen. It's going to be there throughout the show and throughout the next 2 hours. If you want to find out more information on Feeding America, or if you'd like to give thanks by donating, here's how it works. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, point it directly to the screen, and hold your phone there until it recognizes the QR code and it shows you a notification, and then just tap notification to open up the link. And of course, you can always head to our website, today.com/allday, for more information. All right, well, Dylan Dreyer, I believe she's in studio. Hello, in the gorgeous kitchen, looking lovely, my dear. You ready to talk some turkey? And by the way, you missed my fabulous pumpkin flan.
Ooh, that looks delicious. I heard rumors about the flan, and I'm very jealous that you are so far away from me right now and I can't try it. But happy Thanksgiving. I miss you.
I'll have to you too, Dylan. Have a great time. And I know Cal has been a big help in the kitchen for you.
He is, and he's a big eater too. So not only does he help me cook it all, but he does help me eat it too. So that's always good. And enjoy it with your family and your boys too.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Okay, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And we want to get to that turkey tip line. So here to serve up solutions to your dinner dilemmas is a longtime friend of the Today Show, restaurateur and Food Network star, Chef Alex Gornacelli. Alex, good morning.
Good morning. Just casually
so nice
in my kitchen, making side dishes. Thank you. Nice to see you too.
Hopefully you'll be able to snack on all of them at some point. But I have to ask, there's nothing you can't do in the kitchen. What is a typical Thanksgiving meal like in your house? Do you do new things or do you stick with some classics?
So we always end up cooking for a lot more people than we think. We cook for whoever comes over. This year, our gathering is extremely small, 3 people, me, my daughter, and my fiance. But we just can't help ourselves. We're chefs. So we're cooking for some people we know that, are having a tough time. Some people taking care of their parents, other stuff. We mix probably 79.5% old school classics. And then we always have some weird little, additional side dishes that come up, and desserts too. My fiance likes to make like a last minute dessert concoction crumble. I like to make a lot of fun side dishes, and we always end up having some weird stuff in the fridge. Right now, I know I have like some fennel, some radicchio, some endive. So I just know some of those are gonna meander through the mashed potatoes and the stuffing.
As long as the endive doesn't, show up in your dessert. Have you ever had a Thanksgiving disaster of any kind? Any that you can remember?
Oh my God, please. So many. I mean, a lot of them in the restaurant. When I was first starting out cooking in restaurants, I was in charge of overnight turkey duty. So you filled all the ovens with turkeys and you roasted them overnight. And I fell asleep, which I was supposed to, but I slept too long, if you get what I'm putting out. And then all the turkeys came out of the oven. And, turkey is kind of traditionally a little dry and endearing. And as long as it has a good gravy and a crispy skin, who cares? But this was way past bless your heart, if you know what I mean.
Not salvageable.
And then, at home, the disasters are smaller at home, and you can kind of laugh them off because you're happy to be cooking and with your family and friends. I've had the big pot of mashed potatoes on the stove all ready to go and turned on another burner to heat something else, but then turned on the wrong burner and caused a mashed potato inferno. So chefs are not exempt. We cut ourselves, we burn ourselves, we make mistakes. I like to share with everybody the humanity of being a chef. And to that end, to everybody out there, don't be afraid of Thanksgiving. Whatever it is, just enjoy the process. However flawed, it's beautiful.
And
right?
There's usually so much food that if one thing goes wrong, you can make up for it somewhere else. Nobody eats every single bit of everything on the Thanksgiving table.
You should come over. We might just... No, I'm kidding. It's totally a holiday that is about the day. It's about gratitude. It's about what we're thankful for. And in 2020, that's some list to scrape up, if you know what I mean. But it's also just about leftovers, like a great sandwich, a great shepherd's pie, pouring too much gravy all over everything. I mean, that's Thanksgiving.
I love it. You can never have too much gravy. I have to ask, I know this year's different. You only have the three of you at your Thanksgiving table. But if you could invite anyone to join your Thanksgiving table, who would it be and why?
Wow. If I could invite anybody, honestly, I can't be with my mother. And I know it's a cliched answer. I know I should say something like Marilyn Monroe or, something really cool. But honestly, I would like my mom, please, with a side order of mom. And I can't have her this year. And that's hard. And I know a lot of us are struggling with that. But my mom is vulnerable. And she doesn't know how, people are like, oh, we're on a Zoom with our family. My mom can't Zoom. My mom can't iPad it. My mom can't even get on the internet. She's that way. She's like, can I use a rotary phone to call you? So we can't exactly, have like a complex video or anything. So it's tough. I'm thinking about putting some food in the mailbox. I don't know.
I wish you could, but we're all kind of in the same boat. So you're not alone. I wish I could have my parents. I uninvited them from Thanksgiving this year just because I didn't want them to feel obligated to. Yes, I didn't want them to have to break my heart, so I broke their heart instead. So Alex, we're going to take some viewer questions. I want to bring in Cheryl from Minneapolis now. Hey, Cheryl, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
So what is your question on this Thanksgiving?
Well, listen, Dylan and Alex, I usually go all out for Thanksgiving, but of course I am simplifying this year. So I'd like some ideas for some less fussy side dishes.
So for me, I think the biggest thing about side dishes or cooking in general is not being left with a ton of dishes. It's okay to have some cutting and chopping and preparing, but when you are literally spending half an hour washing all these dishes and taking up lots of real estate on your stove, that's the thing to get rid of. So I do have a solution, and it's kind of like a chic trend, which is the idea of 3 side dishes in one. And you literally put the tray you cook it in right on the table, and I'm just casually standing around my kitchen and I just happen to have one that's coming right out of my oven. And I want to kind of show you the result. This is my 3 side dishes in one. I have half a sheet tray of Brussels sprouts and bacon, a quarter sheet tray of sweet potato puree with a cinnamon top, and stuffed mushrooms. And you see my little carrot fence in the middle, separating them. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to make this. And here's the wonderful thing. You put these 3 side dishes together, and then you literally, you have a little buffet or whatever, and you literally just put the tray on a trivet and people just take from it. Your kitchen sink is empty. There are no dishes. And that's what I really love. And this is really pretty simple to put together. I just made a sweet potato puree by roasting some sweet potatoes and scooping out the flesh instead of boiling them right? Just bake them. You can bake sweet potatoes on the bottom rack while the turkey's cooking until they're tender. And then just literally spill that onto, and if the sheet tray, a baking sheet is a rectangle, we're going to take a quarter of it for the sweet potato puree, a quarter of it for the Brussels sprouts, and then half for the mushrooms. And so you can see how this is starting to come together, right? You just gently, and I just lightly grease the baking sheet. I put some parchment down, right? I mixed a little bit of brown butter and some spices into the sweet potato puree. And to be honest, you could cheat and use store-bought puree if that's easier for you, and just season it up with some cinnamon. You could use a squash puree. You could use a turnip, mashed turnips, mashed rutabaga, any puree you like, as long as it's not with tons of cream, because the cream makes the puree super liquidy, and then it doesn't behave.
So
if you know what I mean.
Did you add any cream to that? I have 4 giant sweet potatoes at home that I'm planning on doing something with. You literally just roasted them, mashed them, added some seasonings, and that's it? Or did you add cream too?
I added a little bit of milk, because milk it adds a little richness, but cream also dilutes the sweet potato flavors, because cream just blows into town and says, hey, I'm fantastic. And then you don't get that deep flavor. So some cinnamon, some clove, and a little bit of brown butter. Just melt and brown a little butter and mix that in with a little bit of milk, right? And then we lay that down, and then I just toss some of the carrots. Now, you have to adjust a little bit, because everything has to cook kind of together, so you want everything to be kind of the same size. So I got some pretty big carrots, so I quartered them just lengthwise, right? And you could have them. If they're a little bit small, you cut them in half or quarter them. And then I just literally start to build this little fence to kind of keep the aesthetic. And then also you get the added bonus of the carrots, right? As another little kind of addition to the side dish
I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so cute.
And it works. Here's the thing. We chefs take Thanksgiving so seriously. We like to be cute, America. We do. But we also like when we have something cute and awesome that works, right? And then literally you just start to build this. Now, again, the Brussels sprouts. In the recipe, I have them raw. If they're really big, like I got some big ones, I just simmered them for a few minutes this morning, just to get them a little off to the races, just because the worst is when you bite into Brussels sprout and it's like cardboard, because it's not quite done. And it is smiling and nodding and chewing this cardboard Brussels sprout. So I cooked them up a little bit. Right. And you can see this is starting to happen, right? Got my Brussels sprouts in one corner, that sweet potato puree in the other. I've got my carrot little fence. I've got some cut up bacon. I literally just took some breakfast bacon and just cut it into little strips. We sprinkle that on top, and this is going to bake up super brown and crispy, which is really, come on, what we want, right? We want those, and you could add spices like paprika or cayenne to the Brussels sprouts to make them spicy. One of the advantages of having a smaller Thanksgiving this year is you can kind of do what you want. Right? Your mother-in-law is not breathing down your neck. Your cousin is not there to yell at you. Your drunk uncle is not asking what he can do because now he's vegan. Well, we have to look on the bright side. I think this is a year of really looking on the bright side of things. So while I miss the gathering, I love that I can just do what I want. Sorry.
I love this.
There is an
and Alex, we're starting to run a little low on time. So what's going
that's 'cause I'm
on
talking
the other?
too much.
On the other,
see, I'm just talking
empty
too much.
spot.
Sure. So the crumble topping goes on top of the sweet potatoes. And then for the rest of the tray, we have the mushrooms, which we just put a little cheese stuffing on top of. And you can see, I'm going to stuff these after, but that's sort of
beautiful.
The bare bones of it. Mozzarella, but you could put goat cheese. You totally could put goat cheese. And you can see now this is starting to cool. You could totally put Parmigiano Reggiano, mozzarella. And so you have like this little gratin with a crust. It's almost like a dessert.
Cheryl, you look
stuffed
excited.
mushrooms.
I think you're going to try
this. And the Brussels sprouts with bacon. Well, you have a lot of things that work together. You do. Well, the brown sugar on here goes with the bacon and the Brussels sprouts. And like the mushrooms are kind of healthy, but the sweet potato's a little naughty. You know, it's everything. This is the beginning of the naughty and nice season.
Well, Alex, this is such a good idea, and it's a showstopper when you put it on the table, too. What a fantastic way to keep the dishes down.
Right. Yes, and I love that. I don't mind the cooking. It's all the dishes and the mess that we have
Cheryl,
to get rid of.
we want to see a picture of your tray when you decorate it all like that. You got your carrot fences and everything going. We want to see a picture.
Fences. I'm going to put some purple carrots in mine.
Beautiful. Exactly.
All right.
You could sub in anything here, and that would be beautiful. As long as you cut them so they're cooked. That's all you care about.
Right.
This bakes for about 25 to 30 minutes at about 375. So you just want to think, is everything small enough to be fully cooked?
Easy. Cheryl, thanks so much for a brilliant question. And Alex, thank you for a brilliant answer. Happy Thanksgiving.
I love it.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
Awesome. And you ain't seen stuffing yet. We're talking turkey with many more celebrities and chefs. Up next, Chef Alejandra Ramos. She is going to be here to dish out her holiday help. She is looking fantastic. And a quick reminder, you can use the QR code at the bottom of your screen to help fight food insecurity and learn about Feeding America.
Hey there, everyone. Craig Melvin here. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Hope you're celebrating. We plan on celebrating a little different this year, like a lot of you. We actually let the kids pick the menu, just me and my wife and the two of them at the house. My wife and I are going to split cooking duties. Smaller turkey, but gonna have fun nonetheless. Sit around, eat too much, watch some football. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Hope you're celebrating as well. So much to be thankful for this year. Thankful that 2020 is almost over, and thankful that me and my loved ones are healthy.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things. Yes. Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes.
Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things. Yes. Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes.
Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
And welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. Our Thanksgiving tip lines are now. So if you have any questions, just post on the Today Facebook page for some holiday help. And right now, TV host, food writer, and chef Alejandra Ramos is standing by to dish all about stuffing. Alejandra, it's so nice to see you.
It's so great to see you. Excited to be here.
I love how you dressed up for us, looking nice and festive in red. You look beautiful.
It's a party, right?
It is a party. And I hear for your party this year, like so many of us, you're doing a Zoom Thanksgiving, right? What's that going to look like for you guys?
Yes. So we're doing Zoom Thanksgiving. We just thought it was really the best, safest way to go to keep everyone we love safe. So my husband and I are going to be here in New York in my apartment. Our little dog, Jojo, also. My parents are in New Jersey, and my brother, Gabe, is in Washington, D.C. And we're just going to come together. And we're all kind of going to be eating different things. I'm having fun with my menu. I'm going full Puerto Rican with what I'm making. So just no turkey. I'm going pork.
Nice. I think a lot of people are foregoing the turkey this year. You know, you can kind of play a little bit, you know, since there are fewer people around. I know it sometimes can be cliche to ask on Thanksgiving, but what are you most thankful for this year?
Oh, wow. Well, I think that if there's anything like a silver lining of this year is it kind of really allowed us to boil down to the things that matter the most. And yeah, I mean, it's time with family and friends, the fact that my family and friends are healthy, anytime that I get to talk to people that I love, just finding those little moments of joy. You know, I've been spending a lot of time in this kitchen, both for work and just for fun, and not having the usual pressures, just kind of basically letting go of anything that I don't really want and focusing on the things that really do truly bring me joy. I think that's been a blessing that's of this time.
It certainly is. That's such a good point. So you've got a lot of food in front of you. So we want to talk food. So far, we've talked turkey with Bobby Flay. We've touched on mashed potatoes and gravy with Andrew Zimmern. Now, my favorite, stuffing. What is the secret to perfect stuffing, in your opinion?
All right. So I think there's a few secrets, but for starters, I think it's all about choosing the best versions of every ingredient that you put in. For example, a lot of people use day old bread or stale bread, or they buy the packages of the cut little cubes, which is fine. I mean, you know, I'm all for a good shortcut, but I love fresh bread. I think that you're getting that amazing, delicious, fresh from the bakery flavor. I love that little crust, you know, that little crackle. And I think that adds, it's your base, right? It's the main thing in the stuffing. And then that sort of is a perfect canvas to add all those kind of rich and fun flavors. I also like a mix of flavors. So I like something salty. I like something sweet. I like a little spice, a little things that add color. So really kind of mix and match and really have fun with it. Just like with sandwiches, where like basically everything is delicious on a sandwich, everything is delicious in stuffing.
And you even put your spin on it with your signature Spanish chorizo stuffing, right?
Ooh, yeah. So this is a really fun idea that I'm so excited to be sharing with you guys today. This is basically Spanish tapas inspired. And what I did here is that I took all those flavors from Spanish tapas, right? So the chorizo, dates, smoked paprika, a little bit of sherry, and I'm adding all those to my stuffing. So super easy. I'm starting off, like I said, with that fresh bread, right? And what I like to do, my little tip, instead of cutting and cubing it, rip it out. You want those like little uneven pieces because that's going to give you all those amazing little kind of craggy nooks and crannies that really hold the flavor. I toast it fresh. I put it in the oven, 300 degrees for about 15 minutes. And then you're going to get this really nice kind of just great, delicious, almost like breadcrumbs basically, or croutons. And this is just the best way to start off to add all your fun flavors. So we've got that, and then we're gonna add some fun to it, right? So here I've got some chorizo. I'm using smoked Spanish chorizo, which is it's different than like the fresh Mexican chorizo. This is smoky. It's already fully cooked, so it makes it really easy to heat up. So once you've got this in there, you've got the onions. You just want to sweat them a little bit, get a little bit of that color out, the moisture out. Then we're gonna add some bell pepper to it. I love red. I think it's got the best color, the best flavor.
Of course you like red.
Obviously, can you tell, Dylan? A little bit of celery in there, a lot of garlic. I do 5 garlic cloves, but if you got a table full of Latinos, I say add like 10 because we really like it. So throw that in.
And especially if you don't have many people this year, you're not scaring anybody away with the garlic.
Exactly. Yeah. Just do what you love. So if you're a garlic family, go for it. So mix that all in. You want to get all those flavors going. So that's like your nice savory base. And then you can really have fun with it. The dates add a little bit of sweetness. I think every stuffing needs something sweet, whether it's dates or prunes, cranberries, raisins, whatever you like. That's always, it's just going to add that balance. You kind of want, it's like when you throw a party, you want guests from all walks of life, right? You want someone from work, some of your friends, you want some family. That's what makes the
stuffing
best
should
mix.
be a party.
Exactly. Stuffing is totally the ultimate party. So all this is now going to go into our big bowl, and then we're going to also add our liquids. So doing some broth, go for the best broth. Like I love a rich bone broth. You can even mix it up and do like a butternut squash soup or some other kind of a nice creamy, something that adds flavor. So if you've got like squash in your stuffing, then why not pump it up a little bit more by adding a nice squash soup? Yeah, so mix it up a little bit. Pour the broth in there. I love a little sherry because, again, we're doing Spanish tapas party. You can skip this if you don't want. Use something else. Vermouth works too. But I think it adds a little bit of richness 2 eggs is going to help bind it and hold it all together. I do about 2 eggs per pound of bread. So I don't like doing too many eggs, because if you do, then it becomes kind of like a bread pudding. Just not what we're going for here. Yeah, I want a little bit of looseness. So we add all that in, some spices. Smoked Spanish paprika is my absolute favorite spice in the whole wide world. Like if I was on a desert island and could only take 1 spice with me, I'm grabbing the paprika.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that because it's red?
Well, probably, right? It adds smokiness and color. I do love color. I mean, obviously.
Alejandra, we're starting to run out of time here. So I want to talk about this one secret that it's the way you bake your stuffing. You actually use a bundt pan? That's genius.
A bundt pan. So here you go. Stuffing in the bundt. Look how gorgeous that is.
Love it.
And it's so fun. Plus, you get all those little extra crispy edges, right? I mean, it's like what everybody loves the most. Plus, it's fun and festive.
And just one more quick question, since you've made the beauty for us, you're in the middle of making another one. Can you make this in advance today so that it's ready for tomorrow?
Absolutely. I actually think stuffing is best when it's made in advance, and then you could just pop it in a low heat oven to reheat it a little bit. But let the party guests get to know each other before you serve it.
Well, I love it. If we all can't be with a big party, your food is definitely one party. Alejandra, thank you so much for joining us, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Love that. Some new flavors for Thanksgiving, something you can try. So it has been said that on Thanksgiving, all you need is love and pumpkin pie, of course. So up next, Chef Lovely Jackson is dishing out a delicious dessert, #squash goals. But first, fighting food insecurity has become a bigger battle in these challenging times. Still, Feeding America is steadfast in their service to those struggling. Take a look.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things.
Yes.
Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes.
Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
Look who it is!
I didn't realize how much I missed you guys.
I feel like my life's been on pause and I'm like seeing things more clearly.
We recognize what's so precious, and what's precious is people.
I think what we realize now with our families and our friends, people that you haven't been able to see, you find yourself getting emotional.
I don't think we'll ever take it for granted again, togetherness. This whole time period is really a testament to bonds that are greater than physical closeness. We're far away. I feel as close to you as ever. Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things.
Yes.
Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes.
Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
And welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. It's time, I gotta read this right. It's time to give them pumpkin to talk about. Food Network star and host of Owen's Lovely Bites, Connie Lovely Jackson is standing by to sweeten things up with a delicious dessert. #squash goals. Lovely, how are you today? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Dylan. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about this dessert, girl. I can't even tell you how excited I am.
I cannot wait to try it. My mouth is watering, and I've already taken a few bites of the ginger snap cookies. But first, I need to start by asking, what's the backstory on your name, Lovely?
You know what? I am the youngest of 3 and the only girl. So, of course, my brothers were a little jealous. So they would say, oh, you think you're so lovely. You think you got everything. You're fabulous. And I would say, yes, I am. So Lovely just, has been with me for a long time, became a professional chef, married the two together, and you get Chef Lovely.
I love it. I grew up with 2 older brothers, and I can tell you right now, they did not call me Lovely.
Okay.
So I I imagine through all this, COVID-19, the pandemic has just brought along so many challenges for you and so many chefs across the country. How have you pivoted to make it work?
Just really informing people, reminding them that we want to see our loved ones, we want to see our friends, but we need to keep it safe. We need to keep it smart. And if you do want to dine inside, just make sure that you're following all the rules, washing those hands, wearing your face mask when you can. So I've still been busy. I've still been there with my clients, but following the rules, keeping everyone nice and safe, but keeping their stomachs nice and full.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I know you pride yourself on keeping things simple but glamorous in the kitchen. So these are recipes that really anyone can make. Why is that so important to you, especially on Thanksgiving when things can sometimes get a little complicated?
Yeah, I grew up in the kitchen with my mother, with my family. We sat down and had dinner together every single night, and the holidays were like a tradition for us. So I have wonderful memories connected to food, and making them look good, it makes you feel good. You're taking care of your friends, you're taking care of your family. So anything to alleviating the stress, I'm all about it. And anything that's easy and elegant to really elevate the meal, I'm about that too.
Well, I'm standing next to the finished product here of this absolutely gorgeous dessert. So let's get to it. Because this is actually a recipe with ingredients that a lot of people most likely have in the house, right?
That's correct. That is correct. It's an easy dessert recipe. No oven, no fancy tools, no crust. So in a large bowl here, this is step one. You cooking with me, girl?
I'm cooking with you. I'm so excited I finally get to cook.
Fabulous. So 1 15-ounce can of pureed pumpkin. We want to add in those classic pumpkin flavors. So I have about 1.5 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. Let's go ahead and add in our pumpkin.
If you don't have pumpkin pie spice, what spices are in it?
You know what? It's so easy, girl. You can pull together 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom, nutmeg, ginger, and cloves. And that's it. Boom, baby. You got yourself a homemade pumpkin pie spice.
I love it.
Yeah. So let's go in next with a little dash of vanilla, about a teaspoon. But I just say pour it till it feels good. Why not?
I love some vanilla.
Me too. It's so floral, it's so sweet. Okay, now we want to season this sweet to make the sweet stand out even more. So just a little pinch of salt.
Love it.
And then to sweeten the deal, 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. This is really good because sometimes when you're using granulated sugar, it leaves that little bit of graininess behind. The powdered sugar is going to whip right in.
Nice. Why do you like making this over a pumpkin pie?
Because honestly, I live in California. It's really hot. If I don't have to turn on the oven, I don't want to. This does not have to go into the oven. You can make it in advance, and it's going to look really beautiful no matter how long it sits in that refrigerator. And it's fun to eat, and it looks really stunning as well. With just a little bit of work.
All right. So I've got some nice whipped cream here. I'm assuming we're going to fold that in, huh?
Yes. So I'm going to set my pumpkin to the side here. Now I have a CLT, Dylan. I have a Chef Lovely tip for everyone. When you're whisking up your whipped cream, put your bowl and your whisk in the freezer for about 20 minutes. This way, your whipped cream will whip up in no time because everything is nice and chilled. Yes. Absolutely.
That's good to know.
Now I'm rolling up my sleeves for this one, girl, okay? We're going to get in here.
Well, now you make me want to do that too. All right.
Yeah. So all you want to do is really work this cream back and forth. We're only using about 1 cup of cold cream, so this is going to go by much quicker than you think.
Yeah, normally I get out the beaters or I get out, the big 5-ton stand mixer, but you're just doing it by hand. You're putting the sweat into it.
Yeah, my friends and family deserve it, right? A little extra work, getting my workout in for the morning time. But if you want to, like you said, you can definitely use your stand mixer, your hand mixer. Okay, about halfway there, we're going to take another 1/2 cup of powdered sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to just dump that in. Come on, powdered sugar.
Didn't want to leave.
All right, didn't want to leave that bowl. And then again, that same vanilla that we use in our filling, we're going to add just a little splash of that to our whipped cream as well. flavor all around the board here.
Absolutely. So while you do that, what are you going to be doing for Thanksgiving this year?
You know what, Dylan, for Thanksgiving, I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's been, you know, a rough time for everyone. We've all been affected, just, you know, in some kind of way here and there. I really just want to enjoy some friends and family, sit back, eat some of my favorites, and then make this delicious pumpkin pie mousse for dessert, girl.
Absolutely. So you're doing that. We're actually running out of time, but I want to bring in Megan. She's joining us from Fairfield, Connecticut. Hi, Megan. Happy Thanksgiving. What's your question for Chef Lovely?
Hi, Dylan. Hi, Chef Lovely. I'm a huge fan. My question for you is, how do you achieve the perfect mousse consistency?
Oh, wow. You know what? It's all about working really quickly here. So I'm going to take some of this cream. I'm actually going to show you. This is how we fold in something. So nice consistency is all about kind of taking your time and folding everything together. So just take your spatula like this and just completely go from the bottom to the top. And then it's going to gently fold in. You want to keep as much of that airy, moussey, you know, lightness to the dish. So just go ahead, fold it like this. And I switched it up just a little bit. I put some of the regular pumpkin puree mix at the bottom. Then I'm gonna take this nice, smooth, rich, fluffy mousse and go right on top just like that. I'm creating layers and it has some really good color to it as well. Take some of this very light whipped cream and I'm gonna use mine kind of like as a drizzle today. Or you can keep whipping it so it's nice and stiff and put it in a piping bag, girl. You get those nice, pretty shapes. And then for a little bit of crunch, I have some ginger snap cookies. Take this vanilla bottle, so easy. Crunch up your cookies, and now you have crunch, you got flavor, you have texture. You got a winning dessert, girl.
Oh my goodness, Megan, perfect question. I wish you were here with me so you could taste this with me. And Lovely, I'm going to take my bite right here because this is light and fluffy.
I'm going to join you, Dylan.
I love pumpkin so much. I want this and not a pumpkin pie this year. Lovely, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dylan. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. You guys have to try this. And you don't have to bake it. So then there's more room in the oven for everything else you're going to make. All right, is it too early to start thinking about tomorrow's leftovers? I don't think so, and not according to the host of Honeysuckle, Chef Zung Lewis, who has been busy. She's revealing her recipes to remix your remains next. And don't forget, you can use the QR code at the bottom of your screen to help fight food insecurity and learn about feeding America. And welcome back, man. I wish you could taste that pumpkin mousse. You're gonna have to make it so you can taste it this year. Today we're talking turkey with your favorite celebrities and chefs, and Honeysuckle is here. She's a YouTube sensation with more than 750,000 Busy Bee subscribers and a social reach of more than 1 million. Chef Zung Lewis. Zung, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm good. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Oh, it's so nice to have you here. And I first have to ask, like so many of us, Thanksgiving will be different this year. How will it be different for you?
It's just going to be the 5 of us. My mom is here, and it's going to be my husband and my 2 young kids. So we're just going to be eating all of this turkey leftovers, but keeping it really pared down and making pies to make us feel better.
A lot of people have been cooking to make themselves feel better. So, you know, in this crazy year, what would you say you're most thankful for this year?
More than anything, I'm so thankful for having good health, but also having my family. More than ever, I feel like having that connection with them, even though they're up in the Bay Area, we've just been trying to keep in touch more often, doing FaceTime, Zoom, and fun activities together have really helped us stay together. And then we're just in this together, really.
Absolutely. Families are certainly trying any way to keep close together when they can't be physically. So we have another viewer question, and this question comes from Kirsten. Hi, Kirsten. How you doing? Where are you located?
Hi, Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
Wonderful. So you had a question that actually so many of us have this year. What is that?
I just wanted to know if you would suggest to scale down from a larger turkey for a typical Thanksgiving to something different, considering I only have my immediate family of 5 here this year.
Yeah, absolutely not. Just because I actually have a 14-pound turkey just for, I guess, really the 3 adults and the 2 young kids. But the fun thing is, because we're making such a large turkey, I can integrate it into really different and unique dishes that's not heavy. And it's just so different that you don't feel like you're eating leftovers for days. So
that actually
don't shy away from buying that big turkey.
That makes me feel better because it's just the 4 of us, and we have a 15-pound turkey. So you have ways to use leftover turkey. What would you suggest?
So first of all, after you finish your big dinner, I would say shred everything off of the bone. Having the turkey already prepared will make it that much easier to grab the leftovers to make something else. So here I have my tray of leftovers, and with the bones, you can actually reuse them to make pho. So here I have a turkey pho that I cooked up with some spices and the turkey bones. I have some charred ginger, some charred onions, coriander seeds, cloves, cinnamon, stuff that you might already have for your pumpkin pie, and then some rock sugar. So what I did was added it to the Instant Pot, and it really only takes 30 minutes to pressure cook in here. I did a little cheat. I used chicken bone broth because typically pho broth is cooked for almost 24 hours. And nowadays, stores carry bone broth that's already been simmered for 24 hours. So I just use that as a cheat. And then I incorporate it with some water, the bones, pressure cook it, and you get this beautiful, fragrant broth. And you just basically add some turkey into your big bowl of rice noodles. I'm using pho noodles here, but you can find them at any grocery stores. Sometimes they're labeled pad thai noodles. And top it with some shredded pho, some green onions, cilantro, ladle that broth in there. And it's just a very comforting, healthy, delicious soup. And not anything like the flavors that you had before, because it's completely different.
That's what I love about this. It's not just, throwing everything onto some bread and having your Thanksgiving turkey sandwich. This is a totally different flavor. What other ideas do you have?
Right. Speaking of sandwich, this is a very different spin on your typical sandwich. If you've ever heard of a banh mi, it's a Vietnamese French roll with meat and vegetables. So this is what you would typically use a French roll like this. It's very airy and light, but if you can't find it, it's usually at Asian grocery stores. If you can't find it, I love subbing it for ciabatta. A ciabatta roll has that crispy exterior when toasted, and it's nice and chewy inside. So I feel like it's a great substitute. So first, what I'm gonna do is just spread it with some sriracha mayo. If you don't like it spicy, you can just go ahead and keep it with the mayo. Give a generous amount. So what makes this sandwich stand out actually is all the fresh pickled veggies that you put in there. I'm gonna add a nice helping of turkey in here.
It's almost like you're gonna wanna make 2 turkeys just to be able to use all the leftovers for these ideas.
Oh, absolutely, I promise you, this banh mi is out of this world and it's so fresh and delicious. So you just add a little bit of sliced onions, some cilantro, cucumber slices. And what really makes this stand out is the pickled carrot and daikon. It has this tangy, sour, sweet, salty flavor to it that adds a really beautiful crunch when you bite into it.
Oh, I love that. We only have about a minute left, Zung. So what is your third option for some of these leftovers?
My third is a cold soba noodle salad. Like, get all the veggies in with this. I have some soba noodles already cooked, some shredded veggies, now the cabbage. Just use whatever you have in your fridge, and a sesame ginger dressing that takes turkey salad to a whole different level.
Zung, these are the best ideas. I have never been more excited for Thanksgiving leftovers.
Thank you so much. I hope that inspires you to try new flavors and use up that 15-pound turkey.
Absolutely. Kirsten, I hope that helped, right? I certainly think it helped me.
Yeah, great suggestion.
I'm so glad.
Wonderful.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to both of you. Thank you so much, Zung. Nice to see you.
You too. Bye.
And coming up next, NBC's Dr. John Torres. He is standing by to keep your celebration safe. There he is. But first, fighting food insecurity has become a bigger battle in these challenging times. Still, Feeding America is steadfast in their service to those struggling. Take a look.
We call this harvest season in the food banking world. These are key months for fundraising, but with the holidays coming, turkey, Thanksgiving, being together.
My first Thanksgiving here in Florida without my parents, my mom and dad, and my kids was extremely hard. So I can understand how individuals around the world and around this country are going to feel come Thanksgiving.
We are big on holidays. We celebrate. This year is not going to be what we're used to.
Although we want to gather and we want to celebrate, I want the world to know to please be careful, be safe.
Annually, the last several years, we probably averaged anywhere from distributing 11,000 to 13,000 turkeys. Now, we started to look to purchase turkeys in June. We're up to 18 and 19,000 turkeys, and our request is 22,000. So this is almost double of what we were last year at this time.
What I'm thankful for is that we have the food pantries and the food banks that will be able to supply the things that we need so we can have a good Thanksgiving, be able to prepare a Thanksgiving meal.
Thank you.
Which, because of the way things were going ordinarily, I don't think that was going to be possible. It's going to be a little different, but it's going to be Thanksgiving.
And welcome back. So proper planning and preparing have always been key to keeping you and your guests safe. And this year, as we all know, it's more important than ever before. So here to help us all have a healthy holiday is NBC News senior medical correspondent, Dr. John Torres. Dr. Torres, so nice to see you.
It's great to see you as well, Dylan, and have a happy Thanksgiving if I don't get to talk to you after this.
Same to you. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I know we've talked several times in the third hour, with coronavirus numbers continuing to surge, there's that dilemma. Some people are still deciding to go visit family. Others are, kind of just staying home and dealing with a smaller Thanksgiving table. But for those who do plan on getting together, how do they keep Thanksgiving safe?
And Dylan, you're right. Realistically, people are going to get together this Thanksgiving. They're already traveling. And here's the key to coronavirus and minimizing your risk. The longer you're around people, the more people you're around, and the physically closer you are to them, the more likely you are to get or spread coronavirus. So by far, the clearest thing to do is to limit the gathering. So try to limit the amount of people that are going to be at your Thanksgiving holiday celebration. And that means, remember Uncle Frank? You never really got along with the guy anyway. This might be the perfect season to say, hey, Uncle Frank, sit this one out. The other thing you want to do is limit the time. And so right after dinner, say, hey, everybody, let's go ahead and everybody go home. Make sure they help you clean up first, but then send them on their way.
I'm sure you don't ever want to say the word mask again, but if you are getting together with someone outside of your household, do you have to wear a mask the whole time?
You do, except for obviously when you're eating or drinking. And so the keys to this are to double down on wearing that mask, double down on social distancing. That's important because you don't know where they've been necessarily. When you have dinner, ventilate. You want to open windows as much as you can. If you can have it outside, that's even better. And one big key, if you have a garage, I know it's not the fanciest environment, but go put the table in the garage, decorate it as best you can, open the garage door if it's warm enough, and have it there because the ventilation is fantastic. Separate families by tables, at least 6 feet apart. So instead of having that kids table, have separate family tables. That way they stay together and nobody interacts. And then when it comes to serving food, instead of typically passing it around or having the buffet line where everybody touches the utensils, have one person serve it. Make sure that they serve the food with a mask on, they clean their hands, avoid that finger food. And important, Dylan, this is extremely important. If you don't feel well, stay home. And that means if you think you have the flu, if you think you have coronavirus, even if you have allergy symptoms, this time of the year, during the pandemic, you can't be sure it's not coronavirus, so stay home.
And same thing if you're hosting Thanksgiving. If you're not feeling good, tell everybody not to show up, I'm assuming.
Exactly.
So we asked our Today viewers to share some questions and kind of ways that you can help improve their Thanksgiving. And one of them, Alice McDaniel from Apex, North Carolina, is joining us. Hi, Alice. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hi.
What is your question for Dr. John?
So my question is it really unsafe to cook my turkey fully stuffed with bread stuffing, or should I cook the stuffing separately outside the bird?
And Alice, this is great because people are forgetting you still have to do that healthy turkey type cooking to make sure that everybody stays safe. You don't want them to get food poisoning either. As far as stuffing, what the USDA recommends is actually take the stuffing out, don't put it in the turkey, cook it separately, mainly because that stuffing could end up cooking at a different temperature than the rest of the turkey. It could keep the turkey cooler than you want it to, and that could mean it's unsafe. And so definitely take it out, cook it separately. I know people like to have it inside, but in this case, don't.
And what about washing the turkey? I remember when my mom would have the big turkey in the sink and she's filling the inside cavity and she's dumping it out and there's just turkey juice all over the counter. I can't imagine that safe.
And this is an incredible issue of contention with a lot of people because people historically like to rinse out their turkeys. But the USDA and a lot of experts are saying don't do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, when you rinse it out, it's not really going to get any bacteria off of there. You just kind of get the gunky stuff but no bacteria. The other problem is when you rinse it out, stuff is going to splatter everywhere. That means the bacteria can go all throughout the kitchen and that can cause problems. And the reality is when you cook the turkey, that bacteria is going to burn off during the cooking process, so you don't have to worry about that. So the bottom line is don't rinse your turkey. I know a lot of people can't do that, but at the same time, that's the best thing you can do.
And let's talk about heartburn. Alice, I know you answered your question, but why don't you just stay and get the rest of these tips from Dr. John. Let's talk about heartburn, because obviously we eat too much, we eat too fast. So how can we treat it if we can't stop ourselves from eating too much?
And that's the main thing. This is the holiday where people eat a lot, they eat very fast, and that can cause heartburn, both in people who already have heartburn conditions and in people who are more likely to get it because of all the eating they're doing for Thanksgiving. So the best thing to do is smaller portions, and that's probably the easiest thing to say. Just limit your portions. If you've had heartburn in the past and you know what kind of triggers it, avoid those foods as well. Try to slow down how you're eating, because the more you slow down, the more you digest, the more it can make its way through your stomach. And then after the meal, this is hard to do, don't lie down. Stay sitting up, because that sitting up will let gravity work, get that food out of your stomach.
I want to see you try any one of those tips, Dr. John. It's impossible on Thanksgiving. You're going to have heartburn like the rest of us.
Especially the lying down part.
So what about
Exactly.
leftovers? How long are they actually good for?
So the leftovers are good in the fridge for about 3 to 4 days. They're good in the freezer for about 2 to 6 months. But here's the key. You don't want to put them in the fridge for 3 days and then put them in the freezer thinking, I didn't get to them. Let me go ahead and do that, because you've already gone through most of the process there. So again, in the refrigerator, 3 to 4 days. In the freezer, 2 to 6 months. But that means that right after the meal, you either refrigerated them or you froze them. That way they're safe for everybody once they start warming up. And nothing's better than the next day having that turkey left over. I know my favorite's that turkey omelet in the morning.
Ooh.
Every year.
So yummy. Totally agree. And we've got a little bit of extra time, so I just want to go through some rapid fire, clarifying some misconceptions. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on a few of them, Dr. John. So what is the truth behind everyone actually feeling tired after turkey? Is it just too much food, or is it that tryptophan?
It's not the tryptophan. That's a tryptophan myth. Regular meat has tryptophan, so if you don't get tired from regular meat, you're not going to get tired from this. Some estimates you have to eat a whole turkey or two to get enough tryptophan. It's the amount of food and the carbs you eat in particular that make you sleepy, Dylan.
Okay, what about gravy? Is there such a thing as too much gravy?
There is such a thing as too much gravy. And if anybody eats too much gravy, it's me. I love turkey gravy. It has a lot of sodium in it, so that can cause bloating. If you have heart failure, that can cause heart failure issues. So just moderation. This is one day you can splurge, but still try to be a little moderate on this gravy.
And one more thing. I mean, I love the gravy, but I also love the skin. Is it better to just avoid the turkey skin? Say it ain't true. I eat turkey skin. Again, it's one day a year, but you have to realize that skin has a lot of fat in it, and so you want to be careful. Eat a little bit of skin, and again, it's one day, so don't go hog wild. Don't eat all the skin of the turkey, but if you eat a little bit, it's not bad for this one day. But just realize it does have more fat than the rest of the turkey. Well, Dr. John, thank you as always. We'll compare notes after Thanksgiving and see what tips any of us followed here. Happy Thanksgiving.
Sounds good. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Dylan.
After the break, our chefs and celebs continue tackling your turkey troubles. We're going to talk with Vanessa Lachey, Chef Judy Jew, Karamo Brown, Tiffany Thiessen, and more. Plus, my co-host of today's third hour, Chanel Jones. She's joining us. She's actually on time. She tried to come in here, but she walked into something. We'll be right back.
So I never post on here, but I really wanted to share this trick on how to get rid of stains that are like greasy stains in Tupperware. So what you're gonna wanna do is put a little bit of dish soap into the Tupperware, add some warm water. Then you're gonna wanna add a few pieces of ripped up paper towel and then seal it up. And then get to shaking. Shake it pretty vigorously, I would say between 45 seconds to a minute. And then I'm running out of time, but you'll see once you rinse it out, it's completely clean. It doesn't have that greasy feel anymore.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things.
Yes.
Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes.
Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
And welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. I am Dylan Dreyer, and soon we are going to be joined by my friend Chanel Jones, co-host of the third hour of Today. And yes, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, but it is not too late to get some holiday help. Your favorite celebrities and chefs are standing by to dish out all kinds of advice for all your turkey troubles, whether you're worried about burning your bird, stuck on the sides, or don't want to get doomed by Zoom. Well, help is here. Just post on the Today Facebook page to submit your questions so we can talk turkey. And look who is here to help us gobble till we wobble. Chef Judy Jew is serving up solutions for all your dessert dilemmas. Reality stars Heather Rae Young and Tarek El Moussa are giving more veggies some more real estate. And cheers to Tiffany Amber Thiessen, who is creating a quick fix for any feast. Cocktails. Whether you're with your quarantine, having a socially distant dinner, or hosting virtual visitors, this year's holiday certainly may be different, but I am hoping that we are united in our gratitude. For me, the best part of this holiday is saying thank you. Thank you for my family, my friends, healthcare workers, of course, teachers, and thank you for food on our tables. And together we can show our thanks by helping those struggling in these challenging times. Feeding America is the nation's largest domestic hunger relief organization, and you can learn more about it and how to fight food insecurity by using that QR code. It's at the bottom of your screen to find more information, or if you'd like to give thanks by donating to Feeding America. So here's how it works. You just open up the camera app on your smartphone, you point the camera to the screen and hold your phone there until your device recognizes the QR code, and it'll show you a notification. Tap that notification to open the link, or you can just head to today.com/allday for more information. So now that you have all that, I want to bring in Chanel Jones, who's going to do all the turkey talking now. Chanel, are you ready? You said you haven't gone to the grocery store yet.
My plan is, as soon as I'm finished talking with you guys, I'm going to the grocery store.
Okay.
Dylan looked at me and she said, really? You haven't gone shopping yet? No, I haven't. And for those of you, I'm going to get you ready because you're with me. We haven't really started.
Do you have anything new that you're trying this year, or are you sticking to things you've done last year?
Yes, I'm trying Al Roker's sweet potato poon.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but he mixes flour and sugar and he puts marshmallows on the top.
And sweet potatoes.
Oh, yeah, and sweet potatoes. So we're going to do that. We're going to do our Brussels sprouts. Actually, a recipe that you shared with me.
From last year?
Yes, remember those roasted Brussels sprouts?
It takes some time, so give yourself some time. There's 3 different parts to it, so don't save it to the last minute.
Okay, so that, we were going to do mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, a little bit of turkey, and there was one other thing we were going to do. I don't know, over the next 60 minutes, I'll think of it and share it with you.
Well, you need to write your list down. I will let you take care of this so then you can be free and start your Thanksgiving.
So full disclosure, you're a little taller than me, and
Yes.
we have these little risers here for me because everybody knows I'm a shorty. So I
you're
feel
going
like
to
if
grow?
I come up like this,
There we go. And
I've never been this
down
tall
like this.
in my life, but it is wonderful.
Enjoy.
All right.
I'm leaving.
Bye, Dylan Dreyer. Oh, I'm not going to see you tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. She says happy Thanksgiving. Okay, so shall we talk turkey? As you know, clearly, I've got a lot of work to do. So reality stars Heather Rae Young and Tarek El Moussa are ready to say I do. But today they're engaged in your diner and dinner dilemmas. So Heather, star of Netflix's Selling Sunset, and Tarek, star of HGTV's Flip or Flop, are offering their expertise on the house and all things turkey related. Oh, there they are. You guys just look so in love.
That'd be her. She makes us look good.
Aww. I'm trying to remember the last time I held my husband's hand. Maybe I'll go home and do that. You guys have inspired me.
Oh,
that's funny. I love it. So here's the deal. You're both known for your real estate expertise, but recently I know you had some drama with the house you're renovating. Before we get into food, I think people want to know what happened.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. Well, who wants to talk about this?
You. I'm too upset about it.
All right. So we had a leaking rooftop deck on our house. So we ripped it off, rebuilt a new rooftop deck. And before we got to the waterproofing stage, a big storm came through California with heavy rain and heavy wind. It blew the tarp off the top of the house.
Way.
The rain went from the 3rd floor rooftop all the way down to the kitchen floor. So we had
all through the walls, like the ceiling, we had to rip out. We had to rip out flooring. Well, we didn't, but we walked into
gone, cabinets are gone, ceilings are gone. So it's been a nightmare.
Yeah, it looks like a complete war zone mess.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It almost sounds
welcome
like
to real estate.
I know, right? It almost sounds like a holiday movie, though. So, but at the end, it's going to be wonderful and awesome. So you're just like you're just at the commercial break, so to speak. So don't worry, it's going to be amazing by the time it's over. Exactly.
Eye on the prize.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about Thanksgiving for a moment. Today, viewers, they submitted Thanksgiving questions. So we have somebody joining us now, Breck Hayward. He's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Breck, are you with us?
Yes, hi.
Oh, yay. I'm so happy you're chatting with us today. So go ahead and give our fabulous duo your question.
All right.
Hi, Brad.
Yeah, so I want to make, I want to make a filling vegan dish for my family this Thanksgiving. Do you have any ideas for me?
Oh, yes. So I've been vegan for about, 12 years, and I am slowly turning him, but not completely. So Thanksgiving, it's always an issue because not a lot of people bring vegan dishes. So I always like to prep a vegan dish, bring a vegan dish to the family gathering. So I'm going to show you we are going to show you how to make some vegan stuffed peppers using tofu, mushrooms, and a bunch of yummy veggies.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. And
it is pretty good.
I
ate it last night. So she fed me last night, and it is so good. I can't even tell the difference.
Yeah, he couldn't. It is. It's incredible. The flavoring is amazing. So first, a tip using peppers. So when we went to the store, we like to choose peppers that stand upright because we're going to chop off the top and we're going to stuff it. But we want it to sit upright. Like this one falls over, so we can't stuff that one. So this one I'm putting to the side. And also another tip for the peppers, we like to boil them for about 10 minutes to get them soft. And you drizzle a little bit of salt in, and it makes the peppers nice and soft before you saute the veggies and put them in the oven. So honey, get your knife. He's my sous chef today.
Nice today.
So you're gonna chop off the top.
Yes, ma'am.
Be careful, baby.
So this is how we're gonna do so well together, married.
Well,
they're little.
So, you just make it easy. Get that knife away. And then I like to run it underwater. You don't have to right now for filming purposes, but I like to run it underwater to get all the seeds out. Yeah, you put this aside. And then also in the background, I've already sauteed the tofu and the onions because I like to get those nice and brown, and they take a little bit longer. So 5 to 7 minutes. And another tip with the tofu, because tofu is naturally moist. So I like to get extra firm organic tofu. So you get a cutting board and you put a paper towel down on the cutting board. You put the tofu on top, and then you put another paper towel down. And then I like to put something heavy on top of it to weigh it down to get all the moisture out before I chop it up nice and fine. So we chop the tofu. We put onions in. We add a little bit of olive oil. Next, honey, I'm going to let you do it.
This girl can cook.
Tark, you're a wonderful sous chef.
Good. I don't like to sit here and look pretty.
He just fluffs me. He makes me feel good, you know. And then, honey, dump in the mushrooms.
How much?
All of them.
Can I even mix?
You know what the beautiful part about this is while you're cooking it? I'm not a vegan, but I've definitely tried to reel in, some of my recipes and some of the meat. So I think that even if you're not a vegan, and Breck, you can tell me if you'll appreciate this, that people will appreciate having a vegan dish as an option, don't you think?
Absolutely. They're always so surprised that vegan food is so good.
I know. Don't you think so too, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Let me say this. Vegan or not vegan, this is one of the best dishes at the Thanksgiving table. I'm telling you, look at these beautiful colors, all these flavors.
And it's so healthy and also having flavor. And what I love about mushrooms, it kind of gives the consistency of having meat. So, Tarek, sometimes I'll throw mushrooms in or I'll use other ingredients and I trick him and he never even knows. He's like, is this vegan? I'm like, maybe. So I trick him along the way. So now that the mushrooms are sauteing, we like to saute those for a couple minutes. Mushrooms don't need too long to cook. So we toss those in, saute, move them all around. And next we dump in garlic. So you mince the garlic. There you go. Good job, honey. So finally chop everything. Since we're stuffing the peppers, I like everything to be nice and chopped.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes. Smell that yummy flavor.
Looks so good.
Oh, yeah, babe. I'll make you breakfast after this. Okay. So now that that's sauteing, we dump in the tomatoes.
Yes, ma'am. Ooh, the color's coming in.
Yes, here we go.
Oh, that looks good. My grandmother says a colorful plate is a healthy plate. Look at that.
It is. You're getting so many different health benefits from this dish. Between the tomatoes, the peppers, the onions, the tofu, you're getting a lot of protein. Now let's dump in the sauce. So honey, do not dump the whole thing in.
So we have about a minute left. Once you have the.
We have a minute. Okay, let's go. Not all of it.
So we'll do a little bit of sauce.
Okay, and then I use the rest of the sauce. Keep dumping, baby. So I like to use the rest of the sauce in the pan that we're baking the peppers in. So I like to line that because the peppers, so they don't stick. And I also drizzle a little bit of olive oil in here as well. And then it just adds extra flavoring. Keep dumping, babe, and keep sauteing.
That looks so good. Heather and Tarek, I have to wrap it up. So what do? You just dump it in?
Oh, yeah.
Mix it up, stuff that bell pepper and eat.
Yeah, you stuff it and then you bake it for about 10 minutes with foil, and then you take the foil off and you add vegan mozzarella cheese, and you add walnuts on top, and then you take the foil off and you bake it for another 10 minutes. And we're going to show you the final product.
Okay.
We're running out of time, so let's show them the final product. It's over here.
Let's see, final product.
So that's what it's going to look like at the
That looks absolutely amazing.
And the walnuts on top give it like a crunchy,
crunch.
almost like a crunch. And then also the flavor of the walnuts when you cook them, it gives it almost a little bit of a burnt flavor as well. It's incredible.
Yum.
Don't forget the
Thank you.
Don't
Heather, Tarek, you win for Best Sous Chef. That looks absolutely fantastic. And honestly, whether it's Thanksgiving or any day, frankly, that looks absolutely yummy. Thank you guys, and congratulations on your love and your engagement.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, stay with us. Coming up, stars. They're just like us. Vanessa Lachey admits that celebrating in the current climate with kids has been challenging, but she's gotten crafty. So she's going to share big ideas for your little ones coming up next. And don't forget, you can use our QR code at the bottom of your screen to help fight food insecurity and learn about Feeding America.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. My favorite part of the holiday is family, is being together and realizing how lucky I am. This year, we plan on celebrating by sitting together, my little family, including Hal. He'll be at a high chair at the end of the table, being together and thinking about those that are not with us.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us. We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things.
Yes.
Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes.
Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
Welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. Your favorite celebrities and chefs are standing by to serve up holiday help. Just send us a post on the Today Facebook page. That's what Lauren from Alabama did. She wrote in with a question for all the kiddos out there and joins us now. Hi.
Good morning. How are you?
It's so good to see you. I love your blue today. It pops.
Thank you. Getting ready, festive for the holidays.
I love it. So here's the deal. Actress and mom of three, Vanessa Lachey, she has a Thanksgiving tip for your little turkeys. Should we watch it together?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, everybody take a look.
Hey guys. Hey Chanel. Hi Lauren. You guys, can you say hi? Hi. Hi. Happy Thanksgiving. That's watching. I
I'm here with my three littles, Camden, Brooklyn, and Phoenix. Camden's the oldest.
I'm 8.
He's 8.
Phoenix is the youngest. He's 3. She's 5. I'm in the middle.
And she's in the middle. So as you can see, it is crazy around any dinner time for that matter, let alone Thanksgiving. So I wanted to give you 2 fun ideas that Nick and I started a couple years ago, and we've actually just continued them because they seem to work and the kids love them. One is we cover the kids' dining table with craft paper. That's a mouthful. Cover with craft. It's easy to remember. So I got a roll of craft paper at a store, but you can also use a grocery bag and just cut it open and tape it down on the side that has no, printing or drawing or writing, and use that. Use gift wrapping tape.
A sad fish.
Put down some crayons, some washable markers, and let them go to town. I have to be honest, this is the most they've talked to each other and been nice to each other in a long time because that's what this table does. It brings them together. I don't want to say it too loud. I love it. I love seeing what they draw. I love seeing what they come up with. I love seeing at the end of the night how it's evolved from a couple rainbows to people signing their names. Some of the parents come by and they write on it. Cleanup obviously is easy. You take it and throw it away. But if you're sentimental like me, you end up lightly peeling off the tape, rolling it up, writing the year on it, and keeping it. I know. At some point, I'm going to have to throw them away because I'm going to be hoarding craft paper from Thanksgiving tables. But this is one fun trick that has turned into a cool tradition that we love. Another fun thing, can I have my trusty assistant over here?
Just assistant day, just assistant.
Hey, look guys, remember our ornaments? You did one. Oh, we have been doing them. So what I do.
This is mine. I filled it up with like golden and white and all that stuff.
So I buy these shatterproof ornaments from the craft store as well. And made for kids. But you can fill them with whatever you want. Obviously for cleanup, we don't do too much glitter. I buy these little pom-poms, these little snake things that are like squishy pipe cleaners. Kim, can you show me how to put a pipe cleaner in this one and twist it all around? Maybe you can make.
You like twist it like this or something, and then you twist it again or something, and then you put it in.
Thank you, baby.
And then
here, do this one, and then I'm gonna see it at the end. I wanna see what you can do. How many pipe cleaners you can get in there. Don't tell me, I wanna see, surprise me. So this is something fun that you can do that obviously they have a take home. So now they have a keepsake. There's something at the end of the day that they're going to put on the Christmas tree because everybody knows the day after Thanksgiving means it's
Christmas.
It's Christmas. So we take our ornaments and we put them on the tree. We get the tree out the next day and that's amazing. We started this tradition it was 2016. Why am I asking him? Of course I know, because that's when this guy was born. My water broke with Phoenix December 14th, which was 11 weeks early. And then I was on bed rest for 10 days until Christmas Eve when he came. And so they wanted me to have a tree. All the ornaments on the tree have the year 2016 on them that we wrote on with a marker. And so now I continue that tradition, and it's a happy one because obviously we got this guy at the end of the day, and I have each year to see how they change their evolution of art to look at. And I actually leave these on the table, like I said, just throughout December so the kids can play with it and come over and make an ornament and put it on the tree. I just find that Brooklyn probably does it the most. They get creative. So happy Thanksgiving, guys. Everybody, thank you so much for all your help. You want to say goodbye?
Bye. Hope you like it. Bye.
We hope you like it. Thanks so much. And like I said, I hope these tricks help you out.
Oh, that was so good. Thank you, Vanessa. So wait a minute, Lauren, I hear you and I are part of this special club. We're twin moms.
Yeah.
Tell me about your boys.
I have 5-year-old twin boys, and we can always use any type of activity to keep us occupied while I'm trying to prepare Thanksgiving. So we look forward to doing these things. Don't they sound good?
Yeah. I love it. Hi, boys. Tell me your names, guys. What are your names?
Sorry, your name? What's your name?
Henry.
Henry. I think we may have lost one. We lost Baron.
Of course, that's how it works. Wait, Henry, and what's his name?
Baron.
Henry and Baron. Oh, sounds so regal. I love it.
Yes.
So maybe you can incorporate some of those activities. What are you doing this Thanksgiving?
Well, it's going to be a little different this year. We won't be able to be with everybody because of obviously the pandemic. So we're just going to try to make our own memories this year with our little family. So we're looking forward to it.
I love it. Well, you guys have a beautiful family. Boys, I love your shirts. You're ready for the occasion.
Yes.
It's so cute.
Can you tell her Happy Thanksgiving?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. It was very nice to meet you, Lauren. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Well, thanks to Lauren and Vanessa Lachey. All right, hang with us. Coming up, just desserts. If your strategy for sweets is half-baked, if you will, help is on the way. You see her there. Chef Judy Ju reveals recipes that are a piece of cake. Next, just a reminder, you can use the QR code at the bottom of your screen to help fight food insecurity and learn about Feeding America. We'll chat with Judy coming up in just a bit.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
We are tracking the next phase of America's reopening.
What measures should be in place in those classrooms?
The race for the White House, it is on.
If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
The little simple things.
Yes.
Maybe after all of this, we appreciate those little things.
Yes.
Whether we're physically together or not, we are together, and that's what counts.
Welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. We have your favorite celebrities and chefs with tasty tips for your Thanksgiving. And right now we're dishing about dessert. Ah, yes. So if you're looking to sweeten things up this year, but still have a healthy holiday, TV personality and chef Judy Ju says it's as easy as pie. At least that's what I've heard you say. How are you, Judy?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I cannot complain. So before we get to the foods and stuff like that and delicious dessert, how are you planning to spend the holidays this year?
Gosh, well, you know what? Actually, this year I'm in London. So we are in full lockdown. So it is me and just one other person from one other household. So we're going to have a very small turkey.
I always wonder when you're a chef and people
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, do you cook the full thing even though it's just going to be two of you? Are you still cooking?
Yeah, you have to. It's Thanksgiving. I mean, just because we're in lockdown doesn't mean that we can't celebrate. And I think now is even more important to do something festive and do something happy. And what greater joy is there other than food? So
I agree with you.
So excited. Yeah.
I agree with you. So I was prepping for you and reading your notes or my notes about you. And I have to tell you, I'm really excited about what you're making for everybody today. These chocolate peanut butter coconut oat bars. They're egg-free, dairy-free. I'm trying to kind of reel it in this year, but it sounds yummy and safe, if you will.
It is. It is. It is. And it's no bake. So it's super easy.
Yeah.
So it starts out just with some crushed peanuts. I did that in my food processor. But if you have some extra aggression to get out, you can do it with a pestle and mortar. Some powdered sugar that goes right in there. And coconut oil. If you don't like the taste of coconut, but there is coconut on the topping, you can substitute the coconut oil out for something else.
Okay.
And peanut butter. I'm using dark roasted peanut butter. You can use creamy peanut butter, but use unsweetened because there is sugar in this already. So you don't want it to be over the top sweet because a lot of peanut butters out there already have a lot of sugar. So make sure that you're using a peanut butter that is not sweetened. I like the natural crunchy ones. I like that extra texture. And you're just going to mix this all up really quickly. It comes together in no time.
Why did you love this dessert so much? Because, there's so many, obviously, when you talk about Thanksgiving, people talk about pies, apple pie, pumpkin pie, all of that. What made you go with this?
Well, I mean, I have my pie right here, too. So I'm not going to forget about the pie. But I think a lot of people like something different. And not everybody likes pie. So, offer something different. And also, a lot of people are vegan these days. So you have to come up with something different. And this doesn't skimp on flavor. It's got fantastic textures, as the right balance of salt and sweet, which I love salt and sweet things. So it's actually, it hits all the right spots in terms of satisfying all of your cravings. So I've just put this into a pan.
Okay.
That's been oiled slightly, and it's just going to go down, and mine is going down pretty evenly. So that's about fine. And then I'm just going to chill this.
Okay.
Until it's set up. Yeah. And then I've got one that's been chilled already.
How long do you chill it?
At least an hour. At least an hour, because it's got to firm up. You see that, right?
Okay.
And then I've got some peanut butter and chocolate. This is vegan chocolate. Actually, most chocolate, if it's dark, is vegan. There's no milk in it.
Can I be honest with you? I did not know that.
Yeah, just milk chocolate really has milk in it. It's cocoa butter and cocoa solids. So I'm going to put about 75% of this chocolate peanut butter mixture in here. And if somebody's allergic to peanuts, you can sub out almond butter, cashew butter, whatever you want. It's absolutely fine. So I'm going to spread that around so there's an even layer. Are you making pies? You
know what? It's so funny because I actually like this kind of a dessert as well. So I feel like, and it's also something that we can have beyond Thanksgiving. Like it's something that kids can grab and go for a snack after school, and I don't have to feel so guilty about it,
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of protein in it, so it's good. Yeah.
Nice little sweet treat.
Now this is like the fun part, which I love. So I've toasted some coconut flakes. That's going to go on just like this. I love coconut. I mean, anything with coconut makes my heart sing. Some crushed pretzels just on top. Yeah.
So can you just do any toppings you want, kind of?
Yeah, definitely. But obviously I'm matching and marrying some classic flavor profiles here. Some roasted peanuts. These are unsalted because there's salt from the pretzels, right? And then I like just a little bit of extra. Well, actually, first we're going to drizzle on the rest of the chocolate. So this is kind of like seals in all those toppings, right? Gets it a little solidify, just like that. Bit decadent, huh?
You're a little far from me. Otherwise, I'd try to grab one.
Yeah, I feed you. That's the sad thing about television. You wish at least it were smell-o-vision or something.
I know, exactly. All right, so those are bars. That looks absolutely delicious.
A little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt to go on top too.
Okay.
Yeah, so you mentioned going to go in the fridge.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned the pie that you have off there.
Yes. So I love making different types of pies.
Yeah.
This is a lattice pie, right?
Yep.
And I make different types of crusts for different types of pies.
I was going to ask you about that. People have been asking about that.
Yes. So, sometimes I make a butter crust. Sometimes I make a crust using lard, which I'm doing today. This is like, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Just make sure all your ingredients are cold. But I like a lard crust because the melting temperature is much higher than that of butter. So it's easier to work with. And also it sets faster and the layers set later. So they have time to set in the oven. So it makes it extra flaky. It is so good. Really, really, really good. So I've got an egg yolk in here. I'm going to put in some cider vinegar. Cider vinegar makes things a little bit tender, right? And then I'm going to put in enough cold water to reach the half cup mark. There we go. Ooh, got an ice cube in there. All right. And then I'm going to put this in the food processor. I've got 3 cups of flour here.
You think this is something anybody can do, Judy?
Oh, yeah. Super, super easy. Yep. Some salt and sugar. That's going to go right in. And I mean, if you've got you could do this by hand too and just use 2 knives. But I mean, I've got, this. So why am I going to do that? I'm going to give that a quick mix. There we go. Quick mix. Oops. My ice cube's popped out.
Can you use this dough with all of your different pies, or is this something specific?
Yes. So I use this with a lot of different pies. For an apple pie, I tend to cook my apple filling in there first because it sets above before the apples decrease, So otherwise you get a little bit of a hollow.
Okay.
And so I don't necessarily like that. Yeah. But then you see it's coming together. And then it's nice and crumbly, just like that. You see? Okay. Nice and crumbly. And so that I'm going to take and press into 2 discs. and divide it in half and refrigerate that.
Okay.
Now,
we're almost out of time. I'm like, I don't know where our time goes when we do these segments.
I know, gosh, but let me just show you really quickly because there was a question about decorations, I believe, right?
Yes, yes.
And so everybody knows how to put the pie dough in the bottom of the crust. Now you see here, I've made a braid around the outside.
Okay.
And I've done some things with cookie cutters. And so the trick is really just about keeping your dough cold. It's a race against time. And so here I've just rolled it out. You can re-roll your trimmings from around and just use cookie cutters. I got maple leaves and cut things out. And then, you know, you've got things that are super cute like this. You can put them along the edge. You can even lay them all across the top of your pie. And then using a knife, you make veins in it, just like that. Yeah. And if you want to make a braid, you just roll out a piece of dough into a long strip and then use a knife and then just cut 3 strands, just like this. Try to be very straight. And you're just going to braid it like you would hair. It's exactly the same thing, but you want to make sure your dough is cold. It will become so much harder if your dough is warm. So you've got 3 strips there. And usually I will roll them up and then you attach the top just like that. And I roll them up and you just start braiding.
You know what, we're out of time, but just watching you do that, it looks so therapeutic, quite frankly. If it's therapeutic
really
watching, I can only imagine like making it. And then the gratification when you enjoy it and the people you love enjoy it as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Beautiful.
It's
Judy,
so fun.
It was so great talking with you. You had the best Thanksgiving. You're like a lot of us. We're all kind of reeling it in this morning. So I hope in many ways you find it to be extra special with the person that you
too.
love.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. All right, take care.
Thank you.
Well, our Thanksgiving tip line is lighting up. 'Tis the season for stress. That's just the truth. So coming up, we have a good one. Queer Eye's Karamo Brown is standing by with the answers to alleviate your anxiety. He has a lot of great information. And a reminder, use the QR code at the bottom of your screen to help fight food insecurity and learn about Feeding America. Call your friends right now. Tell them to go to today.com/allday or go to the Peacock app and watch Today All Day because Karamo's coming up and it's great advice. We'll be right back.
I didn't realize how much I missed you guys.
I feel like my life's been on pause and I'm like seeing things more clearly.
We recognize what's so precious, and what's precious is people.
I think what we realize now with our families and our friends, people that you haven't been able to see, you find yourself getting emotional.
I don't think we'll ever take it for granted again, togetherness. This whole time period is really a testament to bonds that are greater than physical closeness. We're far away. I feel as close to you as ever.
Welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. Here's a not so fun fact. According to a recent survey, more than half of Americans think Thanksgiving is going to be twice as stressful this year. But you can cook up some calm in the chaos. Earlier this week, I spoke with Queer Eye's resident therapist, Karamo Brown. It was a great conversation. Take a look.
Okay, so let's dig in here. Obviously, 2020 is its own special kind of year. But the reality is holidays can be stressful for people, whether it's 2020 or 2015 or 2025. Why do you think it is that holidays seem to bring, particularly stressful time for some people?
Well, there's a lot of things that happen to us during the holidays, but there's this concept that I talk to people about, which is called attachment and connection.
Okay.
I think what happens with attachment is you start to attach yourself to these feelings of like, I have to be the best. I have to be what my mother or my father was. I have to keep with traditions. You attach yourself to all these past ideals that don't allow you to just connect and be in the moment. Because what's going to happen is going to happen, and it's going to work out fine as long as you're all together.
How do you embrace change or be in the moment or all of those good things in a time like this? How do you do that?
I think a lot of us in 2020 have not allowed ourselves a moment to grieve. And when I say grief, I mean, we have to really grieve the life that we thought was going to happen in 2020. Because I know at the beginning of 2020, I was like, this is my year. Oh my gosh, this is the new thing. And it did not turn out like when it was thought.
Right.
So you have to be able to grieve that moment and sort of like say, oh my gosh, I'm losing what I thought was supposed to happen, but it's okay. And then once you start to grieve it, you have to acknowledge that it's okay to give yourself permission to celebrate the little small moments, the little small things that are making you happy, even in so much challenges, even while there's so many obstacles.
How do you stay optimistic and positive?
A friend of mine said this, and I've adapted it, but 2020 for me is a pivot party. And that's what my holiday is. It's a pivot party. It means like, all I know is that I might have this plan, but baby, I might need a pivot, and that's okay. A pivot is cute right now. Like right now, I had grand thoughts that like by Thanksgiving, we would be able to like have our families together and do these things together with the kids and have their, little boyfriends and girlfriends over and stuff like that. None of that is happening anymore. And so it's like, okay, we're pivoting. And when Thanksgiving Day comes, some of the small plans I've made in a very safe way might have to get pivoted again. And so just know that every day or every celebration is a pivot party. And as long as you can release the stress of having it to be perfect and be a certain way, things will work out.
So I think this is the biggest one for anyone listening to the sound of your voice right now. How can you find self-love over the holiday?
It is very, very important because I think that's one of the things that we forget to do because the holidays somehow has turned into give, which is okay. But sometimes we forget to give to ourselves. And so the thing that I always tell people that is very important to do, set yourself reminders to take a break from whatever you're doing to connect with yourself. So I literally on my phone will set little alarms that will go off. And I know when the alarm goes off, it means it's time for me to step outside and have a little drink of something, to taste a little bit of the food that I've been cooking, to take a moment for me and say, wow, you're doing it. It's okay. Be with yourself. Secondly, I always tell people that, especially if you're the caregiver, like you should know, I know you're a mom, the kids are running around, they need you. You're also still running a busy job. It's important during the holidays to tell your family, I need you to love me a little bit louder. I need you to tell me, wow, I see the effort you put in. I'm so thankful for the effort you put in. I'm so thankful for all you're doing. And that just gives you the strength to love yourself a little bit louder.
Man, I wish I could just hug you through the screen.
We here, a virtual hug.
Oh, socially distant, like what, thousands of miles?
Thousands of miles hug.
Before we get to some of our viewer questions, how are you, my friend, celebrating the holiday?
I'm actually going to be my kids. It's brand new. So this is first year that I'm newly single, and it's just me with the kids. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because now it's like a reset of new traditions. I'm just here to say, as long as I can still connect with people and let them know I love them and feel that love back, then I guess that's what all this is about. You know what I mean? Like, I would love for the turkey to be beautiful, for the Christmas decorations to go up immediately after. I already started ahead of time. I don't know if you can see. But you just got to pivot and go with how it is.
I love that. Okay, so we're going to take some viewer questions. The viewer questions are good.
I'm looking forward to seeing friends and family virtually together this year on Thanksgiving, and hoping to keep the conversation a little more upbeat and away from politics and the pandemic. Do you have any suggestions for how to do this?
First of all, the scruff is cute. Keep the scruff going. You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of us are nervous about the holidays and speaking with family members who have different political views, especially after what we've all experienced. And I think the thing that you want to remember is that it's okay to not engage. First of all, I think sometimes we feel like we have to defend our point of view. We have to step into it. But you don't have to. But if you feel encouraged and you feel like, I want to have this conversation in hopes of connection, what I would do is focus on positives that are universal.
That was excellent. That was good. Okay, question number 2.
I've made some big life changes this year, and I'm not ready to talk about them with my family. How do I avoid the topics and not be rude?
And, you know, that's one that's difficult for many people. But as someone who's part of the LGBT community and who understands what it is to be at a holiday and feel the pressure to feel like you have to make a grand announcement about yourself, I want to let you know that you have the authority to let people in when you want to let them in. Because it's okay in these moments to be selfish for yourself, to protect yourself, to love yourself. And so if you don't want to have the conversation, before you get there, set a clear boundary in a text and say, hey, there's certain things I don't want to talk about. And if I say, this is me respecting myself and not wanting to let you in right now, respect it. And that way you don't have to have the awkward conversation in the moment. You can say, hey, we already texted about this. I'm going to get some more, potato salad or something, and walk away.
We need little Ramos in our pockets for the holiday. Third one.
Hi, Cramo. I was hoping you could share some wisdom on how to avoid family conflict this Thanksgiving.
Family conflicts are always going to happen. You know, there's going to be people who have not seen each other are going to come back together. And the thing is that especially if you had conflict before in the past that you didn't resolve, it's just going to carry over and over and over again. So what I would suggest to you, and this is what I suggest to anybody in any interpersonal relationships, if you do want to talk about your issues, talk about one issue at a time. Anytime you're talking about several things, it gets convoluted. Say to the other person, hey, if you want to engage, this is the only topic I'm feeling comfortable of talking about. It's, again, setting a boundary, but it's staying on one topic.
I hope that there's someone watching who, look, there are all sorts of crazy things that happen in families, and some things I feel like you can't tell somebody, you need to forgive right now. But for the things that are forgivable, that somebody's been holding on to since 1974, I really do hope that there is a spirit of forgiveness with relatives. So I'm just hoping that there's this, listen, this is 2020. Let's forgive so that we can have a lighter load.
Okay, let's forgive. Okay, seriously.
That's what I'm hoping.
Everybody talking about give thanks, give forgiveness. That's really what you be doing.
I think so. Make the load a little lighter. Crumble, you are so wonderful and right on time. Always right on time.
So are you. Thank you always for speaking.
He was so great. I literally just want him on my shoulder everywhere I go to help me make the right decisions. Thank you, Karamo. Okay, coming up, we have Cocktails with Kelly Kapowski, a.k.a. Tiffany Thiessen. There she is. Ooh, gorgeous. She's getting in the spirit or spirits to talk turkey with us. That's coming up next. And a quick reminder, you can use the QR code at the bottom of your screen right now to help fight food insecurity and learn about Feeding America. We'll talk with Tiffany in just a bit. Welcome back to Today Talks Turkey, from Saved by the Bell and Beverly Hills 90210 to White Collar and Alex and Katie. She has been in the spotlight for more than 2 decades, and now Tiffany Thiessen is helping us get lit. They wrote that, I didn't. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. A little chilly, but I'm here in my cabin up in the Sequoia Mountains, and
I'm here to talk, cocktails with you for Thanksgiving.
My gosh.
Something easy to do.
That backdrop looks amazing. I would just go out there and just zen out. Oh my gosh. So before we get to the cocktails,
what I do.
Yep, really quickly, how are you spending your Thanksgiving this year?
You are looking at it. This is exactly what I'm going to be doing. We're going to have a very chill, probably stay in our PJs, and have our Thanksgiving dinner right where you're looking right here.
Oh my gosh.
With my family, and I'm so excited. Yeah. Oops, I just lost my AirPod.
Oh shoot, you lost your, what did you lose?
I've got one. I got another one right
Here,
there.
you can pick it up. Go ahead. It's fine. Get it.
I think it went through. I think it actually
Did it go through the holes?
There it is.
Oh, see?
No, it didn't.
Okay, perfect. So here's the deal. Before we get into the demo really quickly, I want to ask you about your TV family from Saved by the Bell. I just interviewed half the cast. They are so awesome. The chemistry is still there, of course. Saved by the Bell, of course, airs on Peacock today. What was it like to return to the show? I can't even believe it's been 30 years.
I can't even believe it's been 30 years. Are you kidding? It was great. I mean, look, I'm still very close with a lot of the cast, so it felt very, almost normal. But it was really fun. It was fun to go back and Mark Paul and I are just in a couple episodes. But the show is amazing. Tracy did an amazing job, the creator. And I think you're going to fall in love with these new kids just as much as you fell in love with us, years ago.
And Al Roker was just raving this morning. I mean, they were talking about it in the New York Times. Like, people actually, they really love it. So congratulations on that.
It's great. Yeah. I love it too. I really do. It's a great reboot, and not all of them you can say that.
100%. And before we go on, I have to say, you have a new show on MTV. It's called Deliciousness, and it's all about cooking blunders. Is that right?
Yes. It's actually a great, fun show. One of those shows that you can binge. Makes you laugh, makes you giggle. It's a spinoff of their very popular show called Ridiculousness, and it's called Deliciousness, and it actually premieres December 14th.
All right, well, let's dig in. They've told me my cocktail is drinkable, edible, whatever, so I'm ready.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so what are we going to be making?
I'm going to show you guys. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to make a rosemary greyhound. Really great. One of the things I love during the holidays, especially if you have a couple more people coming, is setting up like a little bar like this where you have everything ready to go, and you kind of let them make your cocktail. Because most of the time I'm in the kitchen and I'm doing a million other things, and the last thing I need to be doing is playing bartender as well. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
So I've got my rosemary simple syrup, and this is a really easy recipe. This also stays great in the fridge for a while. It's basically 2 parts hot water. You boil it over the stove with 1 part sugar, and then you infuse rosemary sprigs in it for like 20 minutes, and then you strain it. And then I have a bunch of this staying in the fridge, and I can make cocktails anytime I want that lasts for a few weeks.
What a great idea.
Then
have you always loved, while I'm pouring this in, have you always loved to cook? I mean, I know you have your cookbook, pull up a chair. Is this kind of one of your passions?
It's been a passion of mine since I was little. I mean, maybe not so much cocktails, but definitely cooking. And I was always that kid in the kitchen making, big meals with my mom and my grandmother and my aunts. I mean, whether it was holidays, of course, but even just weekly dinners, that was our time to kind of unwind and connect as a family.
I love it. Okay, so I put the simple syrup in. What's next?
Okay, well, generally, I'm actually, So you put a little bit, you have about an ounce of your simple syrup, okay?
Okay.
And then you've got your 2 ounces of vodka. Now,
properly measured.
if you are, I don't measure.
No, our food
I'm
team measured. How about that?
I'm like one of those bartenders that don't even measure. But it's also something, this is a great cocktail that you could actually change up. So if you're a tequila person, or if you're a bourbon person or a gin person, you really can actually change up the liquor to what you want, because this really works all, like with any of those liquors. We just had vodka because it's a greyhound. Then you have 6 ounces of your grapefruit juice. So I have my ruby red grapefruit juice, right?
Oh, it smells so good. And you know what else? Like, you can make this kid friendly, I'm sure, right?
Totally. Just take out the liquor for sure. And sometimes what I do with the kids, my daughter likes bubbly stuff. I actually just top it with a little bubbly water.
Oh, it makes them feel like they're, they get a little fun.
Yeah.
All right. So is that it? And shake it?
That is it. So you shake it up, and I have ice in my shaker, so it's already cold.
Me too.
All right. There you go. I like it, girl.
Right. I want to try it. Oh my gosh. This looks
and then
so
you
good.
literally, you're going to pour this over your glass, right? And then to get a little fancy, this is what I do. Let me put this up front so you can actually see it. As I put a little sprig of rosemary, right?
Oh, I love that. Wait, I have that. I can do that.
You can do that? Okay, good.
I'm with you,
right?
girlfriend. Okay.
And then I take one of these. You can use a toothpick. You can use little fancy ones that are gold. I take a slice of grapefruit and I fold it over and I just put it in through the little toothpick here. I have a little gold one that's really cute. And I place that inside as well. So it looks really pretty.
Oh, cheers.
See? Cheers, my dear.
Can I tell you something?
Should I tell everybody it's 8:30 in the morning here?
Well, not here. And can I tell you something? I'm being so sincere right now. I have never made a drink like this and this beautiful. Like, I actually feel proud of myself. And now I know I can do it. It's not rocket science. You know, I've been intimidated.
It's not rocket science. You're absolutely right. Well, cheers to you. I'm so happy.
This is so good. And congratulations to all of your projects. Oh, man, this is dangerous. I could do this all day.
I know. You can.
Tiffany, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Happy
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving, everybody.
So good. All right. The Thanksgiving tip lines are still open and there's still some time. So go to our Facebook page, the Today Facebook page, and post. In the meantime, we're serving up more solutions to your dinner dilemmas after the break. And you ain't seen stuffing yet. Reminder, you can use the QR code at the bottom of your screen. Everything we're doing today is for a good cause. We're talking about fighting food insecurity now more than ever and learning about being America. All of that with that QR code. There we go. Right there. We'll be right back.
Thanksgiving gatherings are a little smaller this year, but that doesn't mean that we can't enjoy all of our favorites. My Thanksgiving turkey roulade combines turkey and stuffing and can be ready in under an hour. To get started, I've got a turkey breast here that I've had my butcher butterfly. So what that means is essentially they opened it up like a book. So this has created a nice flat surface. And here is another secret that I have. I'm using store-bought stuffing. Of course, you can use a family recipe or a box stuffing. So I'm just gonna go like this. This is like a little L-shaped, I guess it's like a reverse L. I'm just gonna loop this right underneath the bird and I'm gonna do one more tie. Just pull it tight. And I'll do one more, just like this. So I'm gonna stick this in a 425-degree oven for about 45 minutes and then it'll be all ready. And these slices are great for sandwiches the next day.
That looks good. Looks so good. We've had such great tips. I hope you're having a good time with us. Welcome back to Today Talks Turkey. It's what we're doing. Our turkey tip line has been open for nearly 3 hours with seasoned chefs and celebrities dishing out holiday help. And there are still more posts to pluck through, so it would be foul not to give feedback. So many puns. So Top Chef fan favorite and James Beard award-winning restaurateur Karen Mcconaughey is standing by. Hi, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
Can I just tell you, our food team is here. First of all, it's so great to see them, and they are raving about you. So congratulations on all of your success, because people are excited to hear what you have to say today.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so nice. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
Great. You were just on Top Chef All-Stars that debuted the week after the country shut down, frankly, due to COVID-19. It must have been surreal. What made that experience so special, and what feedback did you get?
One of the things for me was I was a little bit nervous that should we be promoting something like this during this time? Did it feel insensitive? Did it feel appropriate? And the feedback that I got from people is they were so excited to have something to watch on Thursday nights. They were so excited to have something to look forward to have their favorite chefs that they could root for. And that made me feel really good. It made me feel in a really small way that, we could bring a little bit of joy to people. And I think that that's something that we all definitely need this year.
Absolutely. And really quickly, you opened your first restaurant in 2019. And when the governor of Massachusetts issued the mandate to close restaurants due to the pandemic, you basically pivoted your business overnight, right? Tell us what happened.
Yeah, we got the word that we were going to shut down completely and only be allowed to open for takeout. The day before, actually that same day, we had heard that we were going to go to 50% capacity. So it changed very quickly. And for me, I just thought we have to try. If I don't do my best for my team, if I don't remain open for the community, then I'm not trying my very hardest, and I would regret it if I didn't. So I actually was thinking about a second restaurant and wanted to have a fresh pasta shop in the restaurant. And so I took that little seedling, that little idea, and I turned it into Fox Pasta.
Look at that.
My sister helped me. Yeah, I branded it overnight. We opened a new Instagram page and we started producing 75 pounds of fresh pasta a day the next day. And we've really expanded since then. You can get tons of fresh sauces, ricotta, focaccia, tons of fresh pasta, and we are going to be shipping nationwide with Gold Belly at the end of this week. So we're very excited to bring Fox Pasta all over the country.
I love that. Well, I could talk to you all day about all sorts of things, but let's get cooking for today. You're making a grilled broccoli Caesar salad, right? Let's do it.
I am. This is one of our signature dishes at the restaurant. And I think if I ever took it off, there would be a riot. But for me, I made this at Thanksgiving last year. And it's just something that now my family thinks is, a staple to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there is some different, cultural elements from all over. Migas from Spain. I throw a little Japanese white miso into the dressing. And, Caesar salads are from Mexico originally. So this is a multi-culti kind of dish.
Okay.
What I'm doing here is...
I just looked at the clock. We only have 2 minutes.
Oh, no. Okay. So I've got some paprika.
Okay.
I've got some garlic, and I've got some toasted bread here. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically making the world's most delicious croutons. And I'm going to push them down until they are completely covered in all of this delicious, smoky, salty goodness. We're going to salt them a little bit.
Okay.
And we're going to pop them into, we want them to be completely coated, but we're going to pop them onto a pan.
Okay.
And into an oven at 320 degrees for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
The next thing we're going to do is, while those cook, we're going to make our dressing. I've got egg yolks, Dijon mustard, and lemon juice in here. I'm going to add a little bit of champagne vinegar.
Okay.
And our secret ingredient.
So I want to bring in one of our viewers just because we're running out of time and they're so excited to talk to you. So I just wanted them to be able to say hi. We didn't really have enough time to get their questions, but at least there we are. Just wanted you to be able to say hi to Karen because I know you're a fan.
Hi, Karen.
I love it.
Hey, how are you?
Karen, thank you so much. We talked so much turkey today. We ran out of time. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll have to